let's fucking set sail. Are you ready?
No, I'm just kidding. Yes, of course.
You should have seen his fucking yawn.
I was yawning for a second.
I
don't know why I'm yawning.
Shake it out. Shake and bake. I'll shake, you bake. Ready?
Down. 3, 2, 1.
What is good, my friends? Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Back, baby.
Here we are.
Yeah, let's get all hyped up, bro.
I'm hyped.
We had a pretty intimate, hyped pregame.
Yes, we did.
That we just wrapped
Intimate's
up.
a great word.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a great word for what pregame truly is.
That's right.
Yeah,
I agree.
We almost said nothing about the podcast at all, or the structure thereof, or
Right.
like what even pregame is.
Right,
But
right.
for those who are a part of our family here, part of our crew, the Gold Tier sponsors.
That's right.
They know Josh and I we're very consistent with just how we like approach everything that has to do with our audience and our family.
I completely agree.
Yeah. If
How we do
you
it.
want to know what we're talking about, we will get there in a little bit.
Yes, we shall.
As we always do in each episode, as
Yes,
we
we
dive
will.
into it's a little section before we officially start off the
Yes.
show. But
Yes.
today is going to follow a more simplistic format.
That's right.
I'm really excited. I'm excited to see if we can make a goal happen, Josh,
Yes.
of about 2 hours per
Ooh.
episode.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I think that's a great shot.
Me too, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially.
And this will be a huge learning point because this is the first time we're going to try and implement
Yes.
that, and we'll know where we can
Exactly,
where we can
and
better with it.
we're announcing it because when you speak it,
Yes.
it becomes real.
It becomes real.
Exactly.
Really real.
So now the audience, yeah, whether they've listened to us or not, knows the intent going into this episode. But
Very true.
yeah, I'm excited to keep learning with you, Joshi. And like, honestly,
man.
here's the deal: we are back
That's right,
from
baby.
vacation.
3 whole weeks, man.
Oh man, I know.
3
I know.
whole weeks.
Yeah, 3 whole weeks. I even gotta write the time here.
I will say, I don't
I'm
think
not writing down jack shit here.
Right.
We got.
We're making
this,
it chill,
This is
aren't
when
we?
it actually starts.
This is right.
Here. Yep.
This is right. So
we're about an hour in.
Yeah,
Okay. What I mean also
Yes.
clarify length of Flash Bros podcast about 2 hours.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I figure the main topic
That's meaty.
should be an hour.
Great.
It almost always is.
usually. That's
Usually.
Right. Yeah.
But if we can even have more
Or
time
longer.
to focus on it,
Yeah.
maybe an hour and a half. Okay.
That's great.
And then the rest is to compliment.
That's
so.
right. That's right, baby.
Yeah, like it's where you at?
Oh, I'm with it so much. I was just going to say it was a nice 3 weeks. It was nice
Oh my
to be able
gosh.
to have just like a little bit of a free day, if that makes sense. I know
Yeah.
you weren't really, except for that last week, you didn't really have a free day, did you?
Oh, for being
you were
like at Raleigh's
yeah,
place?
at Raleigh's.
I'll be real, bro. I treated it like vacation.
Like vacay?
I treated it a lot differently, I think, than last year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where like it was like.
Was everyone at the same vibe with you? Everyone felt it?
Yes and no, and
Yeah.
it's tough. I definitely had some days. That's a loaded question for sure because I feel like the culture is so different. So you can mistake that as people don't fuck with you maybe some
Sure,
days, or
sure.
like maybe just the vibe isn't what you thought.
Sure.
Or maybe people are also different when they drink. So
Right.
it is a bar environment.
Right.
So you see someone first thing in the morning might be a little different than they are at the end of the day
Sure,
when they're
sure.
drinking.
Sure.
So the culture there is just it's very different from what
Wow.
I'm used to.
Yeah,
And, I'll just say takeaway.
Excuse me.
Big blessing. You're excused. Here's the deal, bro. They don't.
You're also blessed.
You're also blessed, bro. Thank you. You know what? It's crazy you say that because I was so used to saying "bless you" every episode.
Yes.
And you're not coughing.
I'm not coughing. I didn't cough at all during pregame.
No.
And I've been basically
Wait,
done.
you had a sneeze fest. That was it.
a sneeze fest.
Yeah, you sneezed like 3 times.
Today?
Yeah, during pregame, right?
you
Was it like
serious?
it was like bless you, bless you, bless you?
No.
That didn't happen.
That was like 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
dude.
maybe it's during Smash. Flash Ultimate, I mean.
I didn't sneeze.
Somebody was sneezing like crazy.
It wasn't me.
It was a draw.
Was it a drill?
Yeah, I take it all.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, I do remember.
yeah. Someone
Dude,
just went
what?
through this. No,
That's
but
crazy.
you're not coughing. I'm.
No.
That's a
I'm
blessing.
all better.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm all better. I have not had a single issue with coughing. It's been amazing.
Awesome.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. Fuck yes, dude.
Big fuck yes.
Big
Huge
fuck yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude. Well, so jumping into this,
yes.
Okay, and
Let's
jumping out of like really like this little vacation time. I really treat it like vacation this year because like the vibe, it really was the same at the end of the day. You know, the people there and the culture there is everyone kind of just like stays in your lane and doesn't really like everyone wants to hang. It's almost like, you know, can you hang? Can you hang? Especially over there, there could be nothing to do like socially. So you know, go to the bar, drink with your friends, play games. That's kind of it, right? Especially when it gets cold, really cold,
right?
And bullshit 24/7. Half the time, you don't know if someone's just straight bullshitting you, if they're actually telling you a story, right?
That's
like
funny.
it's so funny.
I love it.
Thick skin. Thick skin.
That's what
these
it seems
people
like.
are not sensitive.
Yeah.
If you are sensitive, that's weird. You know, that's like what point is drawn out for me. So, you know, putting my brain in your like your headspace, right? Is like you go and people are talking to maybe you or maybe you're witnessing talking to each other.
Right.
Like guys' night over there. Like sometimes like they're literally ripping into each other.
Like, what's an example? Just be like, hey, you're ugly.
Not like you're ugly, but like I don't know, like maybe directly ripping into like a girl based on what she looks like, who's like an ex, and like just ripping like really like raw and hard. It could be like public, or even someone has like some like I've even seen disability. They riff on each other's disabilities. Like I'm like, what the heck?
That's
like
wild.
This would be like wild for me, right? Or it may even make me a little like uncomfortable, like feeling. But you know, I also like talked and got to know like quite a few number of people there, and the truth is they're just not as sensitive. Wow, so like,
very interesting.
Yeah, when they don't take things the way I'm seeing it,
right,
and the way that I've been around. Like I grew up in a pretty, I'd say, like sensitive family.
Sure.
So I mean, and you've probably seen it in like my brother. I'm definitely a lot thicker skinned now, and I have the bar to thank for that. But even going to Raleigh's, like I'm like, whoa. Yeah,
even since I met you, I feel like naturally, and I think I've kind of developed a similar thing, trying not to. Yeah. But just not really caring much about what others say. I've seen that a little bit. I would say.
I'm gonna hammer it in, Josh.
Hammer it.
Here's the secret.
He's got a hammer in his hand. He's got a big hammer.
And I'm no master at it. I wish I was. I'm trying actually all the time. But the secret is what Meliodas says at the very last or second to last episode of 7 Deadly Sins, because Kendall and I finally wrapped it up.
Yes, let's go.
And I want to talk about that.
We absolutely will.
For like our rendezvous. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So before we get there, I just want to say that really Meliodas tells I can't remember. I think it's Arthur. Is
it the flashback he tells Arthur when they're in that field and they're talking?
Well, I don't remember, but I remember the quote. So you tell me. The quote is, "Remember, it's not about what others think about you.
Right.
It's how you think about others."
Right.
That's what it's all about.
I love that idea.
Yeah,
because
and the way he says it, man. Yes.
It's just perfect because, you know, there's nothing you can do about the way others view you or judge other people.
Right.
But there's only ever something you can do, right? So it's the same thing where, you know, I'm rewatching Vinland Saga, and the whole idea of pacifism is coming up, obviously, again, you know, because that's extremely important to me now. And the idea is not to not be pacifist in order to, you know, fix or anything. It's removing because, you know, if people could say, well, that's silly, you know, there's still going to be violence, people are still going to fight, but I'm removing one person from the pool of people out there, from what I view as what Christ would want, right? And brothers and sisters fighting each other, you know, is not even close to something he would want.
It's not it.
And so removing that person from the pool is the most you can do. And it's literally advice where it's like, that's what Meliodas is saying. It's not about how you control the way others see you. It's about the way you treat and see others.
Yes.
Because then you are bringing positivity into nothing but, what you do and how you treat others.
Yes.
And that equals that
equals thick skin.
Yeah, like thick skin and also just a better world. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Because I think it's...
Meliodas is a G.
It's tough to even say or tough to even admit. But
right.
The opposite is what's true.
Right.
Is that we care too much what others think about us.
Oh, absolutely.
As opposed to what we think about others. And we feel like we're being suppressed.
Right.
For whatever reason.
Right.
Dude,
I completely agree.
Yeah, man.
So when do you want to get into the ending? Should we talk about it, or we could do a whole episode on Seven Deadly?
I do absolutely want to do an episode on Seven Deadly Sins, the core anime.
Yeah,
maybe with the that movie, the Light.
Cursed by the Light.
Cursed by the Light.
Yeah.
Just because you've said it's like the true ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the wrap up to everything that doesn't really get touched at the end.
Yeah. Which I have questions. I do too. But I do feel extremely satisfied with like the base of everything. You know what? I'll just say is that I think we should welcome everyone in to the Flash Bros podcast.
Let's welcome.
And then let's rendezvous. And we'll kick the show off.
And we'll kick it.
Are you down?
I'm so down.
Yeah. Hell yeah. We got some fun surprises in store for both Joshi and for everyone listening.
For everyone listening.
For everyone here with us
our
today,
crew.
Joshi. For our crew.
That's right.
Our family. Joshi, it's episode 47
47?
today. Yeah.
It's so close to 52, man.
Yeah. I know, bro. I know.
So
like
close.
a week away. This is, numbers aside, we were talking about it on pregame, but this is basically a year later. We're like a week away, right? Because last year I went to Minnesota for 2 weeks.
That's right.
And when I came back, we started the podcast like 2 weeks after that.
We did.
Right? I had just ideas cooking and we made it reality, but
that's right.
I think it's also really healthy and appropriate to revisit, have a conversation of core values, where are we at, where do we want to be.
I agree.
Every year, right?
Yeah,
because
man.
a year is like a great mark for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
You with? Okay.
I am so with
Hell
you.
yeah, because actually here's the truth. If this is going to be like something like we continue until we're 90.
Hopefully. Till we're 90.
Until we're 90. It's going to be the new joke.
90.
I love how he brought it back up too.
Yeah,
like,
it's so funny.
That's some Ryan Reynolds.
It's
we're alluding
so
to Deadpool, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Deadpool versus Wolverine
or Deadpool and Wolverine.
And Wolverine.
Yeah.
I definitely thought it was versus before
really?
I went to the theaters.
That's funny.
Yeah. But I love all the iconography, by the way, like
dude.
with the thing,
So
and
tough.
it's like
so tough.
it's a great concept.
Yeah,
so,
it really is.
before we start gushing, getting into Seven Deadly, getting into what we've been doing, Joshi, and catching up here, and getting into the podcast, I want to say real quick that my friends, welcome in to the official Flash Brothers podcast.
Welcome in.
We are nearing the end
Yes.
of season 3, Joshi. Wow. This is season 3, episode 47 today.
Look at that.
We're recording Tuesday, August 6th, and pretty sure we have 3 episodes left before the end of the season.
Before the season's all wrapped up,
so
huh?
the season finale. So, okay, let's check it out right now. We have 3 after this. So right now, we are on the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Season 3 will officially end August 27th.
August 27th, man.
So we'll do something special as we go into season 4.
It came a little quicker than I remember.
Oh, man. Yeah,
what I mean?
well, I feel like it's always going to be whatever's like the mid-season is going to be the quickest because we have a 3-week break.
For sure.
So
That's
it will
right.
be less recording time.
That's so true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. And Christmas break will be during the last season of the year, right?
Right.
I don't think we need a spring break, anything like that, but
Fuck it.
I might go to we actually I'll say now, we're going to take 2 weeks off. We said that in the podcast.
Yes, we did.
We actually took 3 weeks off.
It's been 3 weeks.
It's been 3.
Probably.
So, and I was going to truthfully put out something in writing. Decided, you know what? I needed a genuine break.
Just a little break.
Yeah, really. Because as we said, and as you probably get, we've been doing this every week, at least once a week, for nearly a year straight, right? So, with really only Christmas, which was like a week, 2 weeks off for Joshi, but I personally didn't take any time off, and I really haven't. So, I really felt like it was necessary because while I did have a nice vacation out at Raleigh's place, there's something a little different about having vacation at home.
I agree.
You know what
I
mean?
do. I do.
So getting reacclimated.
I think it's important too, especially if you've been in a different place for like 2 weeks.
Yes.
Just get reacclimated.
Yes.
And readjusted to just what you're rocking on the day.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So,
I think it's important.
Joshi, without further ado, let's introduce real quick.
Yes.
That my name is Sam.
Yes.
Your name is Joshi.
Hey guys, I'm Joshi.
It's Joshi. It's the Star Warrior himself.
It's what they call me.
We are brothers, best friends, roommates.
Right.
We live together.
We got the whole plan.
Whole 9 yards, bro. Yeah,
ready?
we're kind of in a dream house that we call Smash House.
Oh, of course.
And
of course.
Joshi and I will run through this podcast, and a little different than as we've been doing previously in the season.
Yeah, previously.
Right? Yeah, we're gonna skip Pop Topic today.
Okay.
Pop Topic will return in purpose. Okay. It'll just be a little less regular. So we're gonna jump right into our rendezvous, Joshi, which is just some ketchup. So,
man.
you want to just get into 7 Deadly real quick?
I was gonna say, because we have really caught up outside of the cast. We had a whole week basically before this.
Yes.
So I'm sorry about that, guys. You don't really get to see our raw, genuine reaction of seeing each other for the first time in 3 weeks. So we've been catching up in a beautiful way. But that's the fun of this podcast. Is we're still people. We're still humans.
Oh yeah.
We do all the shit that we are supposed to do. And and one thing I really love. Sorry, this is a little tangent.
This is actually perfect.
Is that I don't want to ever feel like you're just a co-host to a podcast with me. Sometimes we'll do that where it's like we'll get into something, but like an hour before the cast, we'll be like, no, let's save this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's fun for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I never want it to be a thing of like, oh man, I'll catch up with you on the pod. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, pod's in like 3 weeks. No, but you know what I mean,
bro. It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, bro.
You're gonna wait.
6
days to tell me.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely
it's just gonna be
No.
That's the kind of shit I don't.
Completely.
And I know
agree.
you're on the same page.
Yeah.
We almost without even saying it ever. That's how it is, and that's the vibe. And that's what I think will also is special about our cast is that there's no really fakeness to it. We're not trying to put on an act or like try to spice up the cast by so
yeah,
that's I say that because I think
I'm
it's
so glad you said that, all that, Josh.
The first real break we've had, and I think that's important to note, is that we're probably gonna stay catching up with each other.
Yeah,
I don't think there's too many surprises that I've been doing for the last week that you haven't known about.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah, that's
cool.
That's great.
And if I remember, it's because I forgot to tell you.
Oh yeah, well, for sure, bro.
For sure.
Wait, my volume decided to go down a little bit, so I'm gonna raise it here,
buddy. Fix it.
Yeah, that's actually perfect. So, Joshi, oh no, it's going right back down.
What's happening?
I'm gonna keep it. I remember tweaking with this with Johnny when the audio got like fucky. And I just decided the best thing to do is actually just leave it. Because it'll edit just fine. So
real.
Yeah. The thing about it is exactly what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I've literally thought the same thoughts, right? Like
I know we have.
You know what? Here's the deal. Because it's so genuinely just us, as I said, think of pregame. The podcast revolves around our lives.
Yeah, it does.
And our lives revolve around the podcast.
Yeah.
So because of that duality, to be honest, I don't feel ashamed or like anything like, I should have said this on the cast.
Right.
Because the cast already gets so much.
Yeah.
The cast is...
and if something is important too, it will come up. You know what I mean? So there's not anything too wild.
And truthfully, like, I want to have more of a personal involvement with maybe like some of our like fans and whatnot. Yeah. And that's really who is a part of our family right now. Right? Is people we personally know in real life. And I kind of just want to keep that kind of vibe. And
100%.
We don't need to save anything.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a very natural. As you've said many times, and you've taught me, there's infinite things to talk about if you let it flow. So we are going to basically spice up the nature of the podcast going forward, as we talked about in pregame, to promote that vibe. Yes. So everything I'll get in the spiel for multi-tab, right? Okay. But we do not need to hold anything back.
Agreed.
We don't need to oh, fuck, this huge thing happened.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell Joshi because the podcast is tomorrow.
Right.
No. Maybe some things if you want, but, we're not, it's gonna go without saying from now on,
Agree.
basically, right?
Agree.
Like, yeah, it's just you're getting the raw, real us.
Agree.
So Joshi and I are not gonna tell you anything and everything. You know what I'm saying?
We're keeping it.
Yeah, super all super. So,
yes.
with that being said, what do you want to start with?
I would love to start with Seven Deadly.
Yeah,
I feel like,
because I feel like
let's go with that. But I also, to be honest, I think we should do an episode once you finish Cursed by the Light.
Yeah.
But I want to hear initial ideas because then we can just expand on this. You know what I mean?
yes.
You
Absolutely.
feel me?
Shoot. I also forgot to write down that the Flash Ultimate winner was...
Oh, yeah, we played Flash Ultimate.
Yes, we did. I'm just going to document it.
It was Sammy.
It was me with
Lucas.
Lucas, thank
That's
you
right,
very
you're so
much.
welcome.
I know. And you were playing...
I was playing Meta Knight.
Meta Knight.
Yeah.
Which, I'll be real, bro. I wasn't holding back at all. Fucking...
Dude, yeah.
Meta Knight...
Yours, Lucas, is good.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I've honestly, Lucas and Ness have been big goals for me, but Meta Knight is extremely impressive because I hate playing Meta Knight.
Yeah, he's actually pretty fun. I would say his range is the only thing that I don't like because it feels like his sword hitbox. It's like you really got to be pressed up on.
Yeah,
dudes, you know what I mean?
Real. His sword looks like the length of Dark Pit's. But Dark Pit range is way bigger.
What I think it is, range. It looks like it would be.
Yeah.
But Meta Knight's hitbox is a circle, right? And Dark Pit's is a little different. So he's a little more vertical, and then his attacks are more horizontal. With Meta Knight, he's more horizontal.
It's like, all of his hitboxes
but then his hitboxes are like the same level of horizontal. So it just makes it like his up air. Dude, that shit is trash, bro. It really is.
It comes out fast, and that is it.
Yes,
can you even kill?
I've seen Casey kill plenty of times, but that was Smash 4.
He's Smash 4 or Ultimate?
Yeah, that was Smash 4.
Okay,
I've seen him play us.
Because I've seen Zero playing
Zero.
Yeah. Do you remember
Zero?
He used to
pro player.
Yeah. Was it Zero?
Zero was a pro player. Who are you thinking of? Zero.
Whoever mained Meta Knight.
Zero was It was Zero. Yeah, because that's where Casey found a lot of inspiration.
Dude,
was watching
unreal.
Zero. It was crazy. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Zero's from Arizona, right?
Is he?
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna look it up.
He's Hispanic, right?
It might mean he's from Arizona. I'm gonna look up Zero.
No, I think I literally remember him saying he's from Arizona and he had a big Mexican family, like way down here.
I swear, I thought he was
connected with Mexico. I think he even competed in Mexico. I could be wrong.
Oh, maybe I'm
No,
wrong.
dude, it's literally his last name's Gonzalez.
Yeah, but it says he's in Chile.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
well,
apparently.
This
I thought
guy
he lived in Arizona.
He actually had some of the most entertaining content for me from the pro scene because he started later. He quit and then he started analyzing pro play and explaining shit that wasn't really common knowledge, I guess, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, like the guy a lot.
Did you see he became a bodybuilder?
Did he actually?
Yeah, dude.
No way.
He looks amazing now. You gotta see him. So that was when I first heard of him, and he he was kind of bigger. That's what he looks like now. I swear, you gotta see his.
What the heck? He looks like a different
Zero.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Talk about a transformation, huh? That's wild, huh?
That's 9 Day, guys. Check that out. Zero,
take a look
pro Smash player. Pretty sure he played Diddy in Smash 4.
Diddy?
After Meta Knight.
Do you get it?
Diddy?
Diddy? Diddy play?
Diddy? Yeah, Diddy was in Smash 4, right?
Diddy, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny saying Diddy.
Diddy?
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 Joshi!
Talk to me.
7 Deadly Sins.
7 Deadly Sins.
So, my guy.
Talk to me.
I want to say.
Yes.
And we can just branch out from here and say whatever. But all I really want to say is my favorite complete cast of characters. This goes even into sub characters
or villains,
and villains.
Yep.
And villains. Yep. Villains is a huge part of characters in this. In races and how each race, even the explanation of the races and their existence. In what happens at the very last arc.
So glad you rewatched the whole thing too.
Gosh, me too.
It would have been so much better than if we tried to pick up where we were at.
Much better. It is showing me absolutely the reason I have to, when I do Future Redeemed, I have to restart.
Yes.
Because I need to take it completely all in, man. Yeah,
really do.
If anything, it'll just enhance it for me.
I agree.
Because I'll be like, I remember this.
Yep.
And then though you get to that blurry point where you're like, oh, where did I leave off? I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was literally. Do you remember me I think I was drunk in the kitchen one night, and I was like, I don't know anything about Escanor, and you were like, you don't?
Yeah.
I got right to.
You saw that
Ultimate. I got right to Ultimate.
Right.
And that was it.
Right.
I didn't see.
You didn't see his little backstory?
I mean, I think it was in that episode. Maybe that's just that's in that blurry line of the last thing I remember seeing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I just really think for everyone else out there, and for sake of conversation, that it is one of the best told stories in a very, very different way from AOT.
Something like it.
Okay. Yeah, but I say AOT because AOT has a lot of elements of the storytelling, and the storytelling is basically, giving assumed premise, which is always at the beginning in the intro, right? And that there's all of these assumptions in a black and white world, and at each episode that you watch, it goes deeper and deeper into that nothing,
right? Whether
it be enemy or friend or goddess or demon or good, evil, none of those concepts, sin, the whole idea of the seven deadly sins, and what
so
the word sin in that show is not used just, they don't throw it around.
Right.
Sin has intention and meaning.
I agree.
And deep, symbology and thematics of, the Bible, right? My own, faith, and, looking at this as a whole and how they talk about these concepts, dude, it's just done so well.
Completely agree, by the way. I think one of the best parts of Seven Deadly Sins is truly the deep, and this is always deeper than you might think, the deep level of reference and point of origin to what the references are going towards. So even introducing Arthur and Merlin, right?
Right. Arthur from Camelot.
Arthur Pendragon from Camelot. Merlin is the wizard who puts him on the quest to find the sword in the stone. This is from the tale of King Arthur.
Right.
Right? So this almost acting as a hidden symbolism for how important these two characters are without saying it straight up. You know what I mean?
And
just
Merlin
knowing the
is
context.
A male
right.
in the mythology.
Right. But this context of understanding the story of Arthur Pendragon, King Arthur, right? The sword and the stone, what Merlin is to him, right? Those ideas you are rewarded for understanding those concepts because the series continues to expand on those said concepts. And it does not end at the story of King Arthur. I'm using that as an example. One of
an overwhelming amount of examples.
So many. It feels almost as if, how we were talking about the four
Horsemen of the Apocalypse?
I was going to say the four archangels.
Oh, yes. Also huge.
Those huge references to those, completely separate than that story from Arthur Pendragon, but really rooted in the idea of Christianity and that idea, but not being what it is. So it's almost this play on what you can expect from these stories while also producing something completely different, because those archangels are not Christian archangels. No. They're not even angels, really. What makes them more holy than a demon?
Right.
That's one thing that I love about the idea of a world like Seven Deadly Sins is you can take your preconceptions that you have about the world, your religion, Christianity, and what you know about what's holy and what's not. Correct?
Right.
You can take that, and truthfully, what it will do is shatter those expectations that you brought into the story. You brought that there yourself. This idea that, Derriere and Monspeed are evil because they are demons. Who says that? Who says that at the end of the day? That is an idea that we have believed from our world. Okay? Bring that to Britannia. Okay? What makes the Supreme Deity better than the Demon King? What? Because she's light? You know,
Right.
Darkness can't exist without the light,
Right.
but the natural state of the world is darkness, right? So what are we to throw
By the
these
way,
judgment and these ideas?
Also, like, gives parallel to, like, Rava and
The
you know,
uh,
dark spirit.
Dimitri? No, Detri? Rava and
Rava and
is it a D?
Is it D?
I don't remember.
No.
I'm gonna look it up. Fuck, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, we'll get it. It'll come to us. You already know. It's from Legend of Korra. That's what we're talking about, obviously, with the elements of light and darkness.
You can remember it.
Can I? It's Rava and...
You know it, bro.
And
starts with a V.
A V? It's not Vati, but it's close.
That's
Baldi.
So close. No,
Baldi?
it's. I'll just say
Vatu.
There it is. Come on.
Got it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So,
but even another
Rava.
going to Zelda now, right?
Yes.
All these interconnected, like, again, mythologies, ideas.
Right.
Okay, so
Right.
I just want to, like, really, like, for those who maybe don't have any interest, maybe you look at it and you've started this show, you started the first season, you think you kind of get it. Guys, I'm just going to tell you, it's
Talking about Seven Deadly?
Yes.
Yeah.
The mythology is only one part of the show and how good the story is.
Absolutely.
My favorite part of the show. I love the mythological ties.
Ties.
I do. I don't know if it's the best story I've ever heard.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
But it's one of my favorite parts about it.
I'll say. Yeah.
I want to say my favorite thing
please.
is the characters.
You
How
know
they
what?
represent these ideas. Yep. Like the main.
I think I agree with you.
Enemies. I just have personally never loved a massive cast. It's almost like the Smash Ultimate roster. It's like Smash Ultimate's in its own category because how the fuck can this game have all these characters and be this good?
Right.
That is my thoughts on Seven Deadly Sins.
I completely agree. The moment I realized how much, well, obviously I knew it since the beginning, but just how incredible the story was. But when
it's so good.
When Mael was coming out of the trance, right, and King unlocked his potential, but Gother was so important, and at the same time, Deanne was doing what she could, embracing her heritage, all these ideas, and then Meliodas dealing with the shit with Bon and Bergenthal.
Right.
I literally was like, these characters are all over the place, and I am hooked on every single one of them. Every single one. I want to see where they're going. I completely agree. It's one of the reasons I think every season has a specialty to it. And I think season 1 is incredible because of the set of characters. Every time a Sin joins the Boar Hat and like gets a room in this little rinky-dinky fucking house, it just adds so much more charm. And you think the dynamics can't get any better with Bond knowing how to cook, Meliodas being a dog shit cook, and almost just seeing like a pervy, lazy owner, right?
Right.
That's kind of what he comes off as. Elizabeth being the
Captain
like
Jack
the,
Sparrow vibe,
right, kind of that vibe.
Yeah.
And then King showing up, having this beef with Bond, and Gother not having like this. It's just every character that was introduced, Deanne, of course, was making the show better by the episode, you know what I mean, by the second of when that shit happened.
Yes,
and
bro.
it just blows me away that you can do all that in a first season and then continuously build on those characters you introduced and how much better it even gets. One thing I will say about Seven Deadly Sins too is these side characters that maybe you could write off if you really wanted to are going through whole arcs. I really liked
arcs.
What was the name of you remember Striker, was it? Strider.
Yeah.
Loved him. I thought he was such an awesome character. He literally like joins the Sins for a minute in the third season.
And he
basically,
yes, dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
and then,
like a little like anti-hero.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of those.
That's what I'm saying. Those mercenary guys, like you can look at them like whatever. We find out that samurai guy was like he has those scars on his back. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. That dude was a what was he? It was
a goddess.
A goddess. He's of the goddess race.
What?
That shit is crazy. Just like these little details of these characters that are like you can write them off if you want to, but if you choose to watch where their stories are going, every single character shows up and does something, and I love it. I genuinely love it. To really appreciate The Grudge of Edinburgh, you have to remember an arc of these characters over the span of the whole story. These kind of side characters that, to be honest, I have so much respect for the author for what they've done with those characters and how it all comes together in those two movies.
No, dude, it's
seriously incredible.
Visionary.
It is visionary as hell. And I will say, if anyone is looking for, and you and I can say this, if you are looking for a beautiful bow wrapped up on the top that answers everything, this ending is not exactly that.
Oh, yeah?
Just the ending of what you've seen so far. Because the point is...
A perfect bow,
the story and the world is a little too big to just be Seven Deadly Sins.
You know what
I have a lot of respect for that.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I actually, though...
Excuse me.
I do have a mind of... I could be satisfied right now. I could be. There could be...
Even without knowing completely about Arthur and...
And, like, what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there was a movie and it explained it a little further, more like... But
there is that.
The fact that we're getting so much more... And he's going crazy off of, like, a new... Oh, it's like Korra. Great. I'm down. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's going to be so good. Like, I literally... there's only 7 episodes out for which I literally was even thinking about waiting to tell you to watch it, but I think you should watch it now, and then we could all be hyped when it drops.
I'm probably down.
Yeah.
Maybe even... I might even just do it with you. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
I think you've
already seen it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You should watch it with Kendall.
All right.
You can't leave her out of the whole
you're
story.
Right. Yeah, I want to think of something, though, to watch with you that I know Kendall could care less about,
Start
cooking.
Yeah.
Write us in.
Did you like Kuroko, or did you not really care for that one?
No, I love Kuroko.
I love that story. Okay. I literally, I cried multiple times. I dissected the hell out of what it's trying to say. Like, there's a point to the whole series and to Kuroko being the way he is.
Yeah.
And
that
you've
talked about it
dynamic with
Dorn's
Kagami.
finished it too, right?
Oh, yeah. He's the one who put me on it.
You guys have both talked to me individually about how amazing
it really is amazing. I'm not even a sports anime guy. But I was genuinely hooked, and it made me enjoy the setting so much because of how good the characters are.
Can I say that just on that note, there is something very attractive about it, because if you've ever been a part of a sports team, there's a dynamic to that is very different from the dynamic of, like, the Seven Deadly Sins.
I completely agree.
Where you're on a hero quest.
Yes.
We've seen the shonen hero quest 1,000 times.
Yes.
We're gamers.
Dude.
A sports, I see the appeal.
I am so glad you said that, because I'm not kidding. That is one of the appeals. And even, like, seeing characters and being like,
rivalry.
knowing they have, like, less strong suits but have a strong suit or but still hold value is... And it goes even into the origin of the team of, I almost said Kyoto. I can't remember the name of their fucking school, but... I love every single character. It really goes into the backstory of, like, Kuroko and Almine and just, like, their whole, not the worst generation. What were they called?
Wasn't it the best generation?
Was it?
No way.
No, it was
It couldn't be.
It had a name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up
the perfect generation.
Ooh, that might
the ultimate generation.
Generation of Miracles.
Generation of Miracles.
And you see, like, them in junior high. You see the whole flashback arc that was probably, like, my favorite. But it's so tough. It's so tough because that ending is incredible. There are characters who go through arcs that are human arcs you go through, because the way you view and walk through this world is what you get out of it. And this whole idea of, I will do things by myself. I will be fine by myself. It's the idea of, and I've said this so many times, but Kuroko's basketball is a point. Like, it's not saying, oh, this is his basketball game. It's Kuroko's basketball. It's the way he plays basketball, but it's the way he views the world. He is a supporter. He supports his friends. He supports the people around him, and he uses himself as this piece to a puzzle of people. And guess what? all the people he faces, all the rivals, all even the nasty people see this. And there's something about them that changes because they really do view... Here, I'll do it like this. Is that better?
No. Like, look, she's facing us.
Oh, yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
And it's like a...
See it?
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
It's not bad. I got it.
No, it's perfect. Pyra, get with it.
So, is Pyra with it? Should I even put her, like, what about over here?
Sorry, I totally derailed.
No, it's totally fine. I'm also derailing, too.
No, it's cool. Actually, Joshi, do you mind if we segue? We'll push Kuroko off for now.
Yes.
Because I actually do really want to finish it. Because
I was gonna say,
I loved it.
I just love that series.
I just think we fell off as a house, right? And that was like the only attachment there. But
right.
I'm always down for whatever. I mean,
100%.
I restarted all of Seven Deadly, and I'm really glad I did. But I would like to, a part of kind of, as I mentioned earlier, I'll keep referring back, but they're kind of the new essence of the cast. I kind of just want to like bring like one thing to the table each of like catching up, because we do catch up so much like outside of the cast as well. That's what I'm saying, So, the biggest thing we're catching up on with you, I'm really excited. That's the main topic today. I've asked Joshi to prepare because you'll see it's very necessary. But before we get to the main topic today, which isn't going to be too long, actually, I'm excited for that, Joshi. But
me too.
Is there anything
besides that?
Yeah.
Besides
the Big X.
The Big X. Did you ever see Scott Pilgrim?
I have.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, it's my Big X.
It's my big
Yeah. It says Big X. It's like if they say her name, it's like, you're not allowed to say that.
So silly.
Yeah, so, I mean, a couple cool things, obviously. I've been replaying Xenoblade 2 and Xenoblade 3. Just adoring it. I honestly love Xenoblade 2 so much. And I think I just unlocked why it might be my favorite combat in the game. I've been doing blade combos a lot. I think I'm finally cracking it. And I've been doing a lot of chain attacks. And also, there's tech when it comes to the movement. Did you ever learn about the...
Like
what? If you flick the stick, it resets the auto attack. So if you just move slightly... You can literally move slightly. It'll redo the auto attack. Right after you land it, you can literally just go, and it'll go right into another auto attack. And you can literally gain your gauge crazy fast, okay? And then once you use them, switch to Mithra. Just be on Mithra. Obviously, double spinning edge. Double spinning edge. Double spinning edge. Yeah. You could wrap up a fight in and I've even leveled down since I'm doing New Game Plus, just so I can enjoy the story and the fights at the same time. That's
fucking sick.
Yeah, I've been dissecting that story too a lot in just what I've been appreciating about the villains, especially Jin and Malos. I know I've dissected them a lot before.
Wait, I didn't know you could level down in that game.
New Game Plus.
That's so cool.
I love the New Game Plus.
I thought that was a new thing
for New Game Plus.
3.
No, you can level down in the first one, I think, too, because that's how I grinded to get to level 99. Yeah, but that's all once you are on New Game Plus.
New Game Plus,
because I beat New Game Plus.
Well, if you level down, how does that deal with... Does it just convert to bonus experience?
Yes, that's what it becomes. You can also level up still, but that level
I was just wondering,
also go
where's
to the bonus.
The cap?
Yeah, bonus.
Do you not get XP if you're just playing through again? Or you do because it builds the bonus?
you get more bonus XP if you are lower level than the enemies you're fighting. That's just how Xenoblade has always worked. That's how I was able to... I don't want to say cheese, but I grinded to get to level 99 in Future Redeemed.
I never knew this.
Okay, so
I never knew
I could break down the whole leveling once you get back to...
Because I've never done New Game Plus.
New Game Plus is so much fun for especially Xenoblade, and especially 2, because you get to keep all the blades. You get to replay the story.
That is huge.
Every place you go, you know how blade side quests will show up if you have those blades? I'm finally able to see those because I barely played the gacha version.
You're not going back.
Fuck no. Yeah. So I'm literally I'm actually experiencing for the first time, and I'm trying to get into the gacha mechanic because I wanted to say this now.
Say it.
There are 2 characters from Xenosaga as blades in Xenoblade 2, and the only way to get them is through the gacha mechanic. And it's one of the reasons I brought these 2 here, because
they represent...
They share, yes.
And one of them is Cosmos, right?
That's right. Cosmos is one of them.
And the other one is from Xenoblade X?
No.
No?
Yes, Elma is in it, but there's 2 from Xenosaga.
Oh, there is?
Yeah. And actually, one of them I have already on Xenoblade 2, but I haven't met her. She's in Saga 3. Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
We'll get into that in the main topic. But
all right.
I just want to say I have been really caring about Xenoblade 2. I love that game so much.
Damn, I love how all in you are right now with Xenoverse.
Xenoverse. Fucking Dragon Ball Z, baby.
Saying,
Let's
baby.
go.
Now I'm gonna come in with that one.
Yeah, let me help out right there. I agree. I was gonna say I think it's one of those stories where you really can just get in as much as you want, and you'll get out as much as you put it.
Dude, 100%. Yeah, and I'll even say, I guess say it now just because it's on my mind, but really the reason I wanted to talk about the main topic today was because of the Battle of Time, right? And we said that on-cast? We said off-cast. I think we said
it was a pregame.
It was pregame. Yeah. So in the Never Ending Battle for Time, I just kind of know deep down it's a fleeting dream that I'm going to play more of the extended Xenoverse.
Yeah.
Even Xenogears. Like that's been like I hope I can play that someday. No, I only just like kind of started it until I could go into like the outside little overworld map and start fights. Just kind of get the vibe. But I've listened to there's actually a podcast I used to listen to. I think they're called something Arc. Retro Arc?
Arc?
No, that's like an emulator, I think. Arc. Something Arc. They used to be called Dark Pixel Podcast. They renamed. They did a whole series breaking down the lore of like Xenogears and Xenosaga.
What are they called?
Multi-episodes. Crazy.
Because I've been watching this podcast that is breaking down.
Arc.
You're fucking with me.
No.
Are you serious?
No.
I am obsessed with these guys right now. I'm not kidding. I'm literally obsessed with them. I am playing
so
dude
deep.
These guys are literally my inspiration for like wanting to break down this series as well as these guys are literally just like
mind blowing,
breaking this shit down incredibly, literally in an incredible resonant art.
I can't believe that. Listen, Joshi, before they did YouTube, they only did podcast or audio, or they maybe they did video one at the same time, but before they were big on YouTube, okay? They were super small. They're called Dark Pixel Podcast.
Yes.
And they did Xenogears.
I know. So they are literally they break this shit down better than anyone. They are like the English teachers of Xenosaga.
Wow, dude, it's so true.
Because they are literally like reading into some things even I obviously saw as like cool character moments or whatever, even little moments. They are breaking down to what Takahashi truly means by each scene. And I truly think he does things completely intentionally. There's so many scenes, and literally I've listened to every episode up to where I'm literally at in Xenosaga, and I literally am like so.
You're there.
I'm so hooked in there. So
most of what I know is probably inspired by them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Wow.
So did you listen to them a lot, or?
Yeah.
These guys are awesome.
A lot.
I really like their stuff.
Yeah, I wish. I think there's some kind of like listening history, like what you can go back and see like the episodes you listen to. I'm pretty sure though. I'm pretty confident that they did a whole 7 or more episodes in Xenogears. That was like multiple hours, bro. Right. Minimum hour and a half to 4 hours. Okay.
Yep.
Pretty sure I listened to all of them on Xenogears. And it was like a summary of. It was just crazy that they literally couldn't wrap it up in. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
This is part 1 and it's an hour and a half.
Absolutely.
I remember thinking that, and then I listened to it and I'm like, there's more.
Yeah.
There's so much more, dude. They didn't even touch the surface.
Here it is right here. That's the Xenogears story analysis episode
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
2 hours?
2 hours long, and that's part 1. That's exactly what you're talking about. There is a serious just level of appreciation I've found for them, and even just like, I don't know, having a podcast, I've been listening to podcasts a little differently. In that same thing we've been talking about. Yeah, in just the sense of like, there are always things I can do better when it comes to, approaching topics, or even just like how much effort I put into research and all this stuff. These guys have been really like, I really did go pretty ham on the Xenosaga stuff. I really wanted to have just as much that I could like talk about.
Dude, that's awesome.
To be honest, and it was because they really inspired me too. So
that's so awesome. Yeah, I think that's very like commendable, because they I had a lot of influence from like from them, from more entertainer side of things.
I can't believe that's happening.
Isn't that crazy? Everything just always comes full circle, bro.
It does, doesn't it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, big circle.
You know what, Joshi? Yes. Let's cut off the tangent.
Okay.
At the throat.
Okay.
Let's hit multi-tap. Are you ready? Are you ready to get started?
Ready,
I think this is great. Nice little segue.
Yes, sir.
I keep looking at the this little arrow on the page, by the way, and I'm like, dude, it kind of looks like a boat. It's like a two-sided boat, right? And we're like on the ship. We're heading towards the
what I was
picturing
horizon. Was it was like some kind of like ship that like flies in the sky. Maybe it has some like turbo booster, and these are connected to here, and then they spread. There's like this malleable substance that goes right there that catches the air, and then these little wings right there act as like thrusters.
Oh. Yeah,
I was just like,
let's go.
Like some kind of future where like there's a bunch of flying machines and stuff. They like come out, and it's almost like a rubbery substance that goes over, but it catches the air. Yeah, it catches the air like almost like a flying squirrel, but goes up using those back thrusters, and it can close to land and stuff. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, almost like the Avatar glider.
Yeah, a little bit.
Kind of
something
exactly like that. All right, Joshi, let's hit the tidbit.
Let's tid it.
By the way, I don't know if I told you.
Ooh.
I didn't type anything into any show notes.
Oh, hey!
There's no show notes at all.
Notice how it's going great, though.
Going great, bro. Yeah.
Right?
Easy.
All right.
So,
buddy.
my friends, Joshi, welcome to the official Flash Brothers podcast.
Welcome
in and welcome back.
Welcome back.
Always, man.
3 weeks of waiting. I was
3 weeks, guys. Seriously, thanks. Thank you for being here with us, being a part of this. Actually, Josh, you know what?
Talk to me.
I'll be real. I kind of feel like taking a leave, taking a quick break. Yeah. Maybe for the mental.
Yeah, I need to stretch my butt.
Did I mention? I told you I'm off Nick, right?
Yeah.
Like completely. Yeah, like, and it's been over a week now.
Awesome.
So I think we talked about it in the last pregame before the break.
Yeah.
So just so everyone out there is aware, I feel amazing. I definitely feel though I can't like go nonstop like I could on Zins.
Sure.
Right? Sure. Where it's like
it's also just neurological pathways in your brain too, and that will get better. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like
I
being
can
off
feel
it a little longer.
Absolutely, dude.
You'll be getting better.
Like a dopamine detox, right?
Sure.
We will be back.
Until we need you.
Okay, we are officially Brack.
We are Brack.
We are Brack.
We're Brack and breader than Rat.
Brack and breader than Forever.
You meant we're crack.
Joshi. You know, we were about to dive head first into our multi-tap. But
multi-tap, that's right.
Actually, completely forgot that I wanted to mix up the tonality on this episode.
The tonality?
The tonality.
I like it.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Because it's time for the new...
Oh, shit. Wait, what is it?
It's like that, it's that Who song, right?
No,
like,
I know, but what are we doing?
Newsflash.
Oh, news.
Newsflash.
Newsflash. Newsflash. Newsflash. Newsflash. Newsflash.
We got the newsflash, baby. Let's
I didn't know
run
we were doing newsflash.
I know. Yeah.
News
so caught you off guard.
News to me.
As well as the audience, because
we were assuming
both your sponsors, they thought they were coming up right now, but they're gonna have to wait because right after the rendezvous, we're kicking it off with the news. So,
news.
Joshi.
Yes, sir.
What I got for you is article on the new trailer that was dropped, the gameplay trailer for what did I knock off my desk? I'm like,
no, it's not you. It was this film.
Pyrus Sword. The Aegis.
It's because I
Joshi,
just glue it in, but
the article I have pulled up.
Yes.
Just one article today is 10 things you need to know from the new Zelda Echoes of Wisdom trailer.
Yes, I saw.
Oh, yes.
I didn't watch it, but
You didn't watch it?
No, I didn't.
Excellent, because I already planned for this,
Oh.
and I saw this, and I also didn't watch it before I saw this article pop up. So I was like, you know what? Josh hasn't seen it. If he has, fuck it. Let's pause. Let's watch it. Let's come back to this, okay?
Let's do it.
Yeah. More One Piece lore.
Love One Piece.
What's the current arc? Eggman.
Egghead. The Eggman arc. I'll get you
The 7 Chaos Emeralds. Okay. You're right. No wonder they had to bring Shadow back into this, bro.
This is when it gets crazy.
Yeah,
Knuckles just
the next
joined
one
crew.
is, well, it's Shadow Moses Island. Come on, didn't you know?
That's when it gets crazy.
That's when it gets crazy. Snake pulls up.
Too.
So,
Yes.
we just watched the trailer.
Boy, did we.
You probably had a more surprising reaction. You want to share? What were your
I
thoughts?
absolutely will. Whoa. My initial thoughts are that I was a little disappointed from the original announcement of this because I have been waiting for an actual 2D original Zelda story. And also everyone's been waiting for another game where you could play as basically the first game where you could play as Zelda. You play as Zelda as a character. I felt like they kinda fumbled those two ideas by choosing the hardware of Link's Awakening, which I'm not a fan of.
Like engine.
The engine.
Yes.
Yeah, not hardware, I'm sorry.
Right, no, the Switch is
the engine. No, we love the Switch.
But
the engine
you're right.
of... I was unimpressed when I played what I played of Link's Awakening. I'm not
And I don't
crazy
disagree at all.
about the simplistic toy design. I'm just not crazy about it.
For me, it is the toy part of
I'm
it.
just not crazy about it.
You're
I
right.
just feel like they have done simple and cute before. Toon Link is amazing. I really like that style. I'm also not... It's not exactly Toon Link, but... Link Between Worlds, I felt, had such a great chibi art style while also having its own unique kind of style to it. I just
It also kind of had its own style because of that other world.
Had a whole vision behind it. I just felt
I'm with you.
Initially disappointed.
I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm probably a little more cynical in my own path. I think Toon Link belongs in the top-down style, and I think that like mature and an evolution of Link every time is in the base games, the 3D games. Wind Waker being what it is, like I want to keep it there.
I know what you mean.
I just think his identity should... Toon Link is an identifiable Link.
Yeah.
That should just like kind of be his own thing, right?
Yeah.
It should be like the top-down games.
I'm with you.
Or side-scroll.
I'm with you for sure. I think I would say I'm open to what Nintendo has to show. There could be a 3D Zelda with a more cartoonish art style, or even maybe a more Ghibli-esque art style. I mean, that's what Breath of the Wild was. But like, you know, something that could be maybe Link looks a little younger or something like that. It doesn't have to... A Zelda game, and Wind Waker shows this perfectly. A Zelda game does not have to be mature, a 3D Zelda game. Twilight Princess is amazing because of that, but you can also appreciate different games because of those different aspects. Yeah. I appreciate a mature Zelda, of course, with you. But a less mature can work. And I'm not saying it doesn't. An art style doesn't represent how mature that game is, because Wind Waker is a fairly mature game. That deals with a lot of things. Stabbing Ganondorf in the head. Come on.
Yeah. And the Ganon, the grotesque like spider form. Yes. That's not like for the faint of heart.
Also just the idea of dealing with death and the idea of the end of the kingdom. It's just mature stuff. It is. Zelda shows.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just kind of saying like my own
preference.
Thinking is that like... And the more it's aligned with that, the happier I'll be. Sure. Does that make sense?
Oh, I get it. I get it for sure. But
I gotta respect whatever they want to do.
So, getting back on Echoes of Wisdom, I was extremely impressed with this trailer we just watched.
I completely agree.
I genuinely found it to be almost kind of exciting because not only is this a new iteration of Hyrule, they're clearly going a specific route. Seazora and River Zora. It's very interesting. Maybe some issues. Maybe some
your reaction
issues.
when it was coming up.
It's exciting, but it's also another example of possibly the Zelda team just not really caring about the timeline. We'll see. Goron aren't supposed to be around in the Fallen timeline, and Gerudo have not been around at all since. But this also could just be another point in the timeline. Things change. You know what I mean? Gerudo are back. The idea that there are River Zora and regular Sea Zora is interesting. Some kind of evolution on the timeline I'm all about. I don't want to just keep things in cages, but at the same time it excites me.
What if it's the multiverse?
It already is the multiverse.
But
we have multiple timelines we're dealing with. That's
but it's a part of the game.
Like there's a new timeline? Or what?
Like it expanding this multiverse, we get all these fucking links.
Oh, there's just like different ones?
Yeah.
Well, that's already the Zelda games are the multiverse. Yeah. It's different universes.
But it's not the satire of pointing it out.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? What
not
if they
really.
kind of do that in this game?
I don't really know what you're talking about.
Well, like what I'm talking about is like, Deadpool. Spider-Man or Spider-Verse, right?
Yeah.
So like it's doing like similar stuff to like Tears of the Kingdom, right? Some of it kind of looks straight out of it. And then obviously it's just like a lot of the older Zelda games as well. But like you said, there's weird things. There's people who don't belong kind of in this timeline that we've got coined up right now. And you did a whole episode that you led for us on the lore on this.
We broke it down.
So I'm so with you. So I'm like, oh fuck. What if where's Link?
Sure.
You asked? Do we really know? I'm sure that's a part of the story, right?
Yeah. Where
the fuck's Link? He's in the background. He looks like his thing.
Right. Looks
and maybe
prominent.
Maybe we're not alone. Maybe they know that, they're kind of fucking around and not exactly giving the people what they want.
Sure.
They're doing their own thing with the franchise.
Sure.
So what if they then use that to did you see the negative space? It doesn't look like Breath of the Wild where it's like lava.
Malice.
Yes. Yeah. Or even there's the Phazon, right? It's kind of like
Phazon.
Yeah, that's from
from Metroid. Yeah. I was like, from Zelda?
No, this is like void space.
It's interesting.
Chaos.
It's interesting.
Literally, right? Or like you can see stuff like a city in the background. I'm like, bro, what if this is literally some multiversal shit and it's just gonna bring in? What if we literally get? I'm serious. Like let's put it black and white. I'm gonna make a prediction. What if we get? Like the Ocarina of Time Link. We get the Twilight Princess Link. Get they bring them in somehow. And then it's some and then Ganondorf pulls up.
Yeah. I'm not really seeing what you're saying, to be honest, but I love what you're saying. Because I just don't know where I don't know where you're getting it from, but I love the idea.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
100% just fan theory.
Okay.
Based on a fleeting dream.
Okay.
And
I think they did it.
Wishful thinking.
It's called Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, but that's not canon. That's not Nintendo.
No, it's not.
No, that was 100% made with the Zelda IP.
Team Ninja?
Yeah, that's not like Nintendo had no hand in that.
You're right.
Other than probably Miyamoto being like, sure, whatever. But, I mean, dude, there's massive pair of knockers right in the cover of the game. Like, it's like, what the fuck? This is not...
That shit blew my mind when I got it.
Yeah, I'm sure Miyamoto wasn't pleased about that, okay?
Name's Sia, by the way. She has huge...
Sia, thank you. Yeah, and not just her, even the more modest sister she's got. Like, the whole theme of it is violence and like, this is just over the top. Right. It's whatever.
Lucia? What's her name?
Yeah.
It's like Lou something.
Something like that.
It's like Sia and then her sister.
Oh, yeah. It's like Sia and then Lucia.
I remember the reveal that they were sisters.
Cece.
Oh, yeah. Cece. Yeah, that's what it is. So they make Lucia. They were like one being, right? Cece, Zelda. I remember when they revealed her, they were like, oh my gosh, it looks just like Cece. And I was like, no, they don't. They look like nothing alike. Because they I don't know. Yeah. They probably had...
Well, okay. So... Yes. It's also really just kind of like, I guess I'm going off of our conversation about this multiverse shit that is pointed out in the latest Deadpool, right? Yeah. About how okay, remember how it used to be zombies, right? Like the thematics.
Yeah, that was where everyone was going.
Yeah, that's why I didn't play The Last of Us when The Last of Us came out. The reason of zombies is
another
just, it's too much, right?
There's so many.
So, because it's a thing, multiverse shit is a thing right now.
Right,
it's in There's a better word for it other than thing.
Right.
You know what?
It's the fad.
It's the
trend.
The trend.
Yeah, the trend.
It's the trend. Right?
Yeah, I totally feel it. I think that would be cool. I always wanted there to be more connection between the timelines. Mm-hmm. I actually, honestly, I was following a theory that for just a little bit that Hyrule Warriors is what bridges the universes. And once that game concludes, the world is left as one universe, and that is the Breath of the Wild one. Because Breath of the Wild is the only game where it has references to all the timelines. And I don't know,
like the subtle hints like on the map and shit. And
it's a lot more than like subtle hints. They reference the sea, the salt that you get in the game. It says this is left over from the Great Sea that covered Hyrule, and like those kind of things where that's lore. That's like what you're supposed to know about the world. While also there being Lionels and enemies from the Fallen timeline, while also them referencing the Hero of Twilight, referencing the Hero of the Sky, which can work if it's in one timeline. But then they also reference if it's in Wind Waker, they can't know the Twilight story, and there can't be Majora's Mask stuff if it's in the other timeline. Anyway, just fun stuff to think about if you're a huge Zelda fan and a big old nerd.
It's really deep. It's really fun.
So getting back on the idea,
Echoes of Wisdom.
I really like what we saw. I like the idea of the mechanics. Yes. We literally said while we were watching it, this is the bridge between the modern Zelda and the classic Zelda. It literally is. What it is. There's this level of what looks like freedom and exploration and just trying things, which I know the Zelda team is all about. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. And to be straight up honest with you, don't know how it's possible.
Yeah.
That's the whole world of creativity that we live in. My mind is continually blown.
Yeah.
And Nintendo somehow has like the biggest kind of arsenal of studios and minds that create just stuff that works, that is truly original.
I agree.
You know, so I agree with everything you said, and I want to even extend on just the graphics aside, which that is more impressive. As Joshi said, it's not an understatement. Like the shininess, I think the reason I don't like it so much from the Link's Awakening remake is this essence of feeling like it's supposed to be some kind of playbox toy. Like I'm literally playing that in like a bridge. Like, I don't know. Yeah. That's not nostalgic to me.
Sure.
It is for a lot of people.
Sure.
And, at Raleigh's in Minnesota, he has a room right next to the bunkhouse.
Yeah.
I've got old pictures. I'd have to dig because I didn't take any this year, but it's a entire room, bro, of like those tiny towns that people build.
Oh yeah,
right, where the people are literally this
tiny.
big.
Yeah,
they're tiny.
I love those.
Yeah,
you'll see it like Hobby Lobby and stuff.
Yeah, it's a room that's twice as big as this room.
Wow, and it's just filled with it.
It's a village.
I love it. Fuck,
a whole train track. So yeah, you would appreciate that. I'm like, I literally asked him too. I'm like, it almost looks the same as last year. Do you still work on it? He's like, oh yeah, I do year round. I'm like. Wow, that's cool. Impressive, man. I don't. That's not a nostalgic resonance with me.
Sure.
I thought it made it look like I can't even take it seriously.
Yeah, that's something I've heard and something I've felt too. I
excuse me.
I'm not too crazy about the style. I'm not crazy about the dot eyes. I don't go crazy for simplicity like that. But I will say,
I think it looks a lot better. I think it looks marginally better. I'll say that, okay?
I appreciate the world building, what it looks like, and it also gave me this feeling of like realizing I'm like, oh, this is a brand new Zelda game. This is like new Zelda. New. This is huge.
Yes,
it's kind of huge, to be honest with you. And with what the mechanics we saw, it just looks like it's one of those that you just fuck around with and you experiment and you just open it up.
Yes,
kind of see what you can do.
Well, Josh, excuse me, gonna be honest with you. What do you remember the last mainline Zelda game before Breath of the Wild? Excuse me.
Yeah, it was Link Between Worlds, right?
I'm pretty sure it was
mainline because they had Hyrule. What were they called? Triforce Heroes, and then
I'm not counting that.
Yeah,
like a traditional. I'm not even counting Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
I'm talking like with traditional Zelda, you get items like think Ocarina of Time.
Oh, we're talking super OG.
Yeah.
Not even like probably Skyward Sword then. Because
I would say
Skyward
Worlds came out after, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't get items.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
Really?
Dude, your items you buy at the beginning, and then you just get them
all of them.
Remember?
I guess you're right.
Yeah, it's not a traditional.
So Skyward Sword?
That was the last one where you traditionally got things in a manner. Remember? Because they have the hook shot, all those.
I guess I'm assuming.
You know what I mean? I mean, if I'm being technical, but actually, obviously it doesn't matter.
I don't even know why I'm assuming that because we don't know. We don't know. But like, I guess just in reference.
We didn't even know if we saw items.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really clarifying.
Yeah.
In what we saw of Echoes of Wisdom with what it showed off, it really did show off new age Zelda mechanics, like from Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh yeah,
like manipulation, right?
Feels like it.
Feels like you're probably getting. If they're showing this in a trailer, you're probably getting this pretty early in the game, especially if it's following that formula.
Right.
So, will it actually have the same feel?
Here's what I think.
Traditional items.
From what I saw,
that's the question.
Yes, it's a good question. From what I saw, there are these triangles that appear above each echo, is what they called them, and each echo. It seemed like you could save. You could save those echoes, so you could see an enemy, save it as an echo, and then you could place it down later, right? And they said you can even manipulate echoes, your own echoes. And that thing that was floating behind you had, from what we saw, 3 triangles. And I believe it's totally possible that is the weapon, upgrade. Is that more triangles appear, the more echoes you can have, and the more things you can do with those echoes. Right, like you could have a spider for climbing up, walls. You could have, that roly-poly thing that you hold on to and it makes you go faster.
And
you can get more. You can get more over time.
Of like the Kirby game, like how they handle like upgrading Kirby's abilities.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
Forgotten Kingdom.
Yeah, I would say it's more of just like
Forgotten Land.
A number. Yeah, Forgotten Land. I'd say it's more of like a number count of like the more triangles you have, the more you can save, but that equals more because that's more ways that you could use all those together with different that's just a theory.
That's really
into what I saw in the trailer.
I'm diving in because that's what makes this fun. It's
like
all these theories. So I didn't even think of that, to be honest. That's
what it looked like because the echoes have a little triangle above their head.
I saw that.
And I don't know if I looked and saw if those triangles disappear behind your little floating guy. Because it always has little 3 triangles following it.
Yeah, because that would...
And if we dissect it, we probably could. If we literally just like paused and looked at like when she places those, we'd probably be able to tell.
Oh yeah.
But from my first theory, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, you're usually pretty onto something with
you
your
think?
theories. I'll tell you that much, buddy. Yeah.
Hell no.
Oh yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah. So, Joshi,
talk to me.
I think we should wrap right there.
Let's wrap it.
Yeah. I mean, I had like an article of like 10 things to notice.
We don't need that.
Let's
once again,
let's hit
anything you write down, we will go into.
Yeah. Absolutely. So let's just hit multi-tab and head into the main topic today.
Hell yeah.
You down, my bro?
Oh, I'm so down, my
bro. Yeah, I bet. You got to pee or anything? Or you good?
Nope, I'm chilling.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Let's hit our multi-tab.
Multi-tab.
My friends, Joshi.
Yes.
I'll say it again.
Say it.
Welcome back to the Flash Brothers podcast.
Here we are.
Here we are. It is episode 47 today.
Here we are.
As we mentioned earlier, and I thought this will be the only time I read off of my iPad today. As this is our little spiel.
That's right.
Which I feel like is just... It's something I don't want to change.
Yeah, it's more like tradition.
It's tradition.
Yeah. And it's fun to just,
Yeah, everything else about the show is pretty much just going to be on the fly. But I want to give a spiel. And the spiel, it might change. Right? I might even have just you do the spiel, and you're doing a spiel based on the spiel, knowing kind of how the spiel sounds because you've heard the spiel 18,000 times.
Right. That is true.
So, you know what? Maybe I'll just go off my memory then.
Yeah.
How about that? Okay?
If you want to.
Yeah. Let's do that. Just to like kick it off.
Keep it
although things are really going to be cemented for season 4. I hope you know. Yeah. This is just this is very fun to go with.
We're trying things out.
Yeah. And I pretty much have only been using my notepad today. So it's perfect. So, Joshi, who are we? We were basically
Who, us?
Who? You and I.
Me and you.
What? Roommates?
Yep.
Best friends?
Yep.
Partners?
Hosts? Yeah, partners.
Co-hosts?
Sure. Co-hosts together.
Yes. My first mate.
Yeah.
We're on the cruise, bro. We have our we have like our main crew. What do we call them?
We have our crew.
Our crew.
And then we have our fleet.
And the fleet.
Yes. So we have so everyone who's on our fleet is a part of our whole deployment, right?
Absolutely.
We all travel together. But who's on the main crew, those are the special ones.
That's right.
Extremely special
That's right. So we loved we're going on a voyage today every day. Joshi is actually going to take the wheel after we wrap up our multi-tap here, which is just really just connecting you all to what we're all about. So we're just big fighters and lovers about pretty much anything that we find interest in. But Joshi and I are really into and grew up largely with like families in so. Yeah, okay. Grow up with families. So we like have certain family values that make us very similar as people, right?
Yeah.
And we grew up with different perspectives of like where we're at in a chain of siblings.
Right.
Okay.
That's very true.
We are both boys. And
that is
we
true.
Both have siblings of both genders. Okay. Or just genders that are not our own.
That is true.
And we have families that have been through a lot, as most have, but our parents are still together.
Yeah.
As of right now.
That's true.
Through thick and thin.
That's right, baby.
Because they've both been through a lot, right?
Yeah, of course.
So we have a lot that we relate to, but we also are a generation apart. So we have a different perspective on a lot of the same things.
Right.
So
that's very true.
We basically just like to vibe it out and come together and make this podcast happen once a week and really just exemplify just kind of our friendship and broadcast what we just talk about anyway.
Right.
You know
Stuff we would all talk about no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if we weren't doing a pod.
That's right.
So you guys get to be along with the journey. That's the fun part.
That's the fun part, baby.
Is that we all get to do this together.
We all get to do it
not
together.
Just me and Sammy.
No.
Talking here. Come on.
Yeah. And I think the point is that we could, but it would be a dream, kind of like One Piece, to make a fleet actually happen, right?
That's right, buddy.
So that's all you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for thank you, Joshi. But seriously, thank you to everyone out there who was lending an ear for in the car, headphones. You're on YouTube, you know, being
chilling
here with
at
us.
Home.
Yeah, we know who some of you are.
Yeah.
But if we don't, we appreciate you.
We appreciate you so much. So much.
So I think we need to dive into the family. They must be acknowledged, Joshi. The fam. The Flash.
The Flash Force. Baby. Come on.
The Flash Force, bro. So we have our fam here. This is our fleet within our crew. And specifically those on Joshi and I's ship, right? Really on the ins and outs with all of our premium series that we do upload minimum also on a weekly basis. We have pregame that we record before every episode.
That's right.
That will drop every Friday. So check that out. That's it's available everywhere. We're based out of Spotify.
So cool.
Yeah, man. And if you want any more info on this podcast, what we're all about, everything we're talking about right now, patreon.com/FlashRosePodcast. So, with it is our gold tier sponsors.
Yeah.
And those are the people who are a part of the fam, like I was saying. So,
gang.
The squad.
So
I think we have 9. And I don't think we need to look, right? Because
I don't
we can
think
just
so.
name this off.
Do you think you can do it in order?
In order?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're going to start with Mama Annie.
Mama Annie.
There
you go.
Yeah. My beautiful mother.
Yes. We should switch off. You want to switch off?
Yeah.
Back and forth. Yeah. Okay. So Mama Annie, you want to say something about Mama?
Yeah. Just all the love, all the support. She actually, I got to call her ASAP because we talked like right before Minnesota, I think, and then talked to my dad, and then Minnesota happened, and we were actually going to call her a couple days ago, but we haven't. Yeah,
we got to.
We haven't. I've been feeling so sick too, bro. Holy shit! So I'm glad I'm feeling much better today.
Good. Good.
Yeah, honestly, if we were at the cast in time, we'll definitely give her a call. But Mama Annie is obviously
big Mama Annie.
She put me into this world. And hell,
take you out.
She can take me out.
Oh, yeah, she could.
God love her, brother.
I love her so much.
Yeah, so that's my beautiful mother.
Love her.
Number 2?
Love it. I'm gonna say Kendi. Wouldn't that be the second?
It is
right.
Second.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm smart with that.
Specifically, Queen Kendi.
Shout out Queen Kendi. Yeah,
Shout
she got us some delicious lunch today.
She did.
Picked us these delicious drinks that we're both partaking in. The wonderful Ghost, and she's having a fun little day by herself. But yeah.
Well, she's actually like with some girls right now.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah. Because you saw her leave, right?
I just heard her leave.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She some of her friends are going over to her parents' place.
Fun.
It's a little oasis with the pool.
Fun.
Right?
I know.
Yeah.
It really is.
I'm like,
was for me.
Go for it, dude. I was in it the other night at like 110 degrees outside. Oh my gosh,
Yikes.
It was perfect. Do you think the river would be good when it's this hot?
110.
105.
I could say 105 for sure.
Yeah.
I think you'd do it. Wasn't it like that when we went?
No, when we went, it was like 95.
No way.
It was.
Really?
Because I specifically remember being like, oh, if it was any hotter, excuse me, I would fry alive.
Yeah. It's possible. I love being in the water. Like, I'm crazy about, like, getting wet and wild. I feel like that's the point. It's, like, kind of like the ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people just love the vibe of, like, just kicking it on the beach or on the river. So maybe, depending on your vibe, I wouldn't say it's too hot for me. Just lather up with sunscreen. Continuously try to
it's probably because you grew up here.
It is also
you're all acclimated and shit.
Acclimated. I also have been going to the river since I was like a little kid.
Yeah,
when I was a kid.
Hyper acclimated.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, Queen Kendi is a blessing to us all.
Shout out.
Shout out Queen Kendi.
Shout out Queen Kendi.
You know what number 3 is?
Do you? Should I say it or you?
Oh. Well, I do. And I guess I'm up, huh?
Yeah, you are up.
It's Donald Duck.
Donald D.
Yeah, you already know, baby. Welcome back, brother.
Thank you, Donald Duck, for sticking with us this whole time. One of our OGs, I'll say.
OGs. I'm going to say...
And one of the strangest, probably the strangest.
You know what I'm going to do? Joshie, I'm going to say something on cast right now.
Say it.
I'm going to write it down so I don't forget, too. Okay. But I'm going to say... Donald Duck, you know, we've mentioned it in the past, but... We haven't been able to communicate with this man.
That's right.
He's a mysterious sponsor to us.
It really is.
But he means a lot to us. So I'm going to say, and I want to see if you're down.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up his date he joined as a Patreon sponsor. As a Gold Tier sponsor. And I'm going to look up his 1 year mark. And if he continues, and he's with us for 1 year.
1 year.
I'm going to just put forth another first step.
Yeah.
For the fam.
For the fam. Like, reach out to him?
I don't think the entire... No, we already tried, okay? Yeah, I think we reached out again, writing a message saying, hey, we'll be here if you ever reach out, and we'll, like, say something. I think we also said it on air, so I don't know if he actually hears this or not. Probably. Regardless, Joshie, I've got this little iPad stand here for when we do the podcast, and I pull it out every episode. I'm going to get a little figurine of Donald Duck. And I'm going to...
You're going to put it on there? I love it.
As long as he's a part of the
fam. As long as he's in there.
Yeah, because he must be recognized in some way,
to be.
Right?
Respected and
recognized. I feel like he's the only Gold Tier sponsor who...
He's the most mysterious.
Doesn't know how appreciated he is.
I agree. And he's mysterious.
Yes.
He's quite the character, I'd say. And quite the
We got to get like the
profile
mysterious, like,
Donald
Duck or something like that.
Yeah. Or the one in his profile pic. Get like one off Etsy.
Ooh. Get a big pillow.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, do you know number 4?
Let me think. Is it A Drizzy?
It's A Drizzy.
Sweet.
It's Sweet A.
Oh, he was just streaming today.
He was. Yeah. I think Kendall
said he was shouting us out.
Or on cast on his stream.
She got to hop on.
Yeah. Do you want to give him a plug?
Of course.
Drew.
Hey, Drew. Check him out on Twitch. It's at Sweet A. That's Sweet AYEEE. 3 E's. Always remember those 3 E's.
Always.
It's like A, like the fawns, right?
Yeah.
A.
A.
Yeah. But check him out. He kind of took a break for a little bit, but he's back. He's back and better than ever. So go check him out. Keep checking. Make sure he's streaming.
Checking. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All about it, bro. Thank you, Josh.
Oh, yeah.
So number 5, it's got to be Lene Lovelady.
Lene Lovelady?
Right?
Is it? I mean, that's a perfect one. Oh.
No, it's not.
Who is it?
It's John Rao.
It's John Rao.
The 4th.
Yeah,
my
always,
man.
Always.
He is.
Big Johnny.
Big Johnny Bravo. My man.
That's right.
So, Johnny, gotta come clean. I talked about this in pregame. So here we are the next day. Okay,
we are.
for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Gotta come clean.
Yes.
was going to, I'll tell Joshi too, like we were at Kendall's parents. We were actually going to come back like early, or no, because we stayed Saturday night. We were going to come back like late on Sunday.
Yeah.
I started to feel
a little
sicky. Yeah. Okay. Just feel, and then, you know, drinking was making it feel a little better.
There you go.
Well, I don't remember going to bed. And then, you know, spoilers. Next day, I'm really, it's like the kind of like you wake up in the middle of the night and you vomit your brains out, right? Like, it just like...
Terrible.
I'm over this, okay?
Yeah. When did this happen?
This was waking up Sunday. I know, man.
That sucks.
So,
sorry to hear that, man.
No, dude, it's all good. It's like, it sucks. Sucks. I cannot sit here. It's not about really complaining at all because I can't sit here and complain about not having a good time. I've had plenty of fucking good times. Having a good time. Always, bro. Like, so I'm good.
Yes.
Okay? If anything, all right. My body's just probably telling me I need to chill out.
Right.
It's like I mentioned earlier, I'm have a non-drinking goal for the rest of August. All right? And I'm gonna hold to it. And I've already I'm off Nick now.
There you go.
Feeling really good. But I was feeling really sick. I think I was passing a kidney stone.
Oh, right.
Yes. And this was like something. Yeah, I mentioned it on FaceTime to you. It was worse yesterday. So I woke up that morning and I was like, all right, I'm going to like put in like all this stuff for the podcast. I'm actually, it's my Monday, okay? On a new week. I'm done with vacation. I feel good. Except I didn't feel good, bro. I felt like dog shit. I felt like somebody just thwatted my back. I woke up with a huge knot. Oh, God. And I was like, oh my gosh. It's like, I can't think. Cloudy mind.
Dang.
I gotta just have some grace, right? So I calmed down and was like, all right, have some grace for myself, right? Like, just, I know I've been on vacation, but I'm legitimately feeling shitty. So we finished Seven Deadly, blah, blah, blah. Johnny invites me to a movie, and I was like, you know what? This is going to be good.
He wants to see
I
Deadpool
can relax.
over
it was Deadpool. At Cinemark. And we were making it happen. I think Lene and Josh were going to try to go, or Joshi, right? But they couldn't make it, so really it was just going to be like Jade and Johnny. I think they went without us. Oh, they definitely did, because Johnny, I told him to text me a little review, and he actually did. So I'm going to read that right now for a little party chat action. Nice. But, and then we'll go from there. So Johnny said right after he got out of the movie, actually it was this morning, update, the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie is, in my opinion, the best Deadpool movie yet.
Wow.
In the same vein as Spider-Man No Way Home, there's multiple timelines connecting blah, blah, blah. I actually don't really want to spoil too much of this movie because people need to go out and see it.
People do need to see it.
But unlike the Spider-Man movie, they hit it out of the park in making fun of itself and the MCU in a good way. The writing, callbacks, and you would love for the characters like playing them, right? And fourth wall brings you back to knocks you back to reality. And reminds you that you're just watching a funny ass movie.
I love it.
Wolverine wise, he still got it, and
he does still got it.
5 out of 5, and he does, bro.
He seriously brings it.
So Johnny, I know this because after Johnny's movie went out, which I think we were trying to go at like 7:30 or something. I was so down bad, bro, and Kendall was like, you know what, I could chill too because I think she's in Shark Week. So we're chilling. Love it. I literally was about to pass out.
Really?
At like 9:30.
Oh shit.
When did we go? Like
10:40 was the movie.
10:40. Right. It was 10:40.
Yeah, it was 10:40.
Yeah, because it was 2 hours. Yeah, so we we got back at like 1-ish. Okay, so honestly, I was about to go to bed. It was like 9:30, and then right when I came out of the bathroom, I see Dory, dude. Which shout outs to more.
Shout out to Big More Dory,
by
baby.
The way, just an early shout out because he's a part of our Flash Force.
Part of the Flash Force, he is.
Our old roommate as a part of the OG house. But
OG,
you know, Dory comes out and. I go in the living room. Adriel comes home. You come home. Yeah, y'all just energized me so much. Well, I'm good.
Look at this. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. So
I was ready right when I saw the boys.
Oh yeah.
Come on now,
yeah, bro. Come on now. Johnny, so sorry, my guy. We did end up seeing it though in the same night. I wish it was with you, but I'm so grateful for like you guys and like the whole house just amping me up, and it was so good to actually spend some time with Dorian because I genuinely haven't in a minute.
Right. You got to reach out to him.
Excuse me.
Whenever he's in town, you got to just like set up a time where you guys just one-on-one, maybe even get some coffee or something or dinner. You know what I mean?
No, I know. And he's here for a minute. So
he's here until the 19th. And then he's going to be back after like the 22nd.
Yeah. He's only gone for like a week.
He's going to LA, I think.
Yeah. All right, Joshi. So let's hit our next sponsor, which is, in fact, Lene.
Lene, Love Lady.
You already know.
We alluded to her, didn't we?
We did.
As
well as Mikey Sandoval.
That's right. We do. We always allude.
Yeah, I love them.
We do.
Always.
I love them so much.
I have an update for you.
Ooh.
In terms of Mikey's situation. I don't really want to like say it on cast.
Sure.
He just like ran into like just some like I'm gonna say harassment, okay? And oh yeah. And if you don't remember, I'll tell you off cast. But,
yeah.
It is looking up, dramatically.
Sweet.
Prayers answered.
Hell yeah.
So it's been that's so really heavy.
Oh,
dude, yeah. Well, it was the reason I was giving him rides after after work, like in the season, man.
Right.
And but it also just propelled Mikey and I's relationship so much, and
you guys became closer.
Oh my gosh, dude! Literally just long lost brother in the opposite way of you and me.
That's God working His will. It's just the way it's supposed to be.
It's the threads. It's the paths.
It is the paths.
It is, bro. So you know who's next, right?
Wait, where are we now? Did we already say Lene?
Lene.
Okay. Shout out Lene, by the way.
Shout out Lene.
Huge shouts.
And Mikey.
And then it's is it Big Daddy Mike?
It's Daddy Mike.
Daddy Mike, yeah.
Daddy Mike. Big Daddy Mike.
Big Daddy Mike. That's what I always say.
Big Daddy Mike. Yeah.
Big
You're
Daddy
right.
Mike.
You're right. You're absolutely
Shout out my dad.
Shout out.
He is my dad. He gave birth to me.
He did.
Yeah,
bro.
He is. He's great. He's doing good. He's doing he's having fun. He's going to what is it? Feed My Starving Children. He's been doing that. He loves it. Just volunteering.
No way.
Yeah, he's loving it.
That's amazing.
Sending me pictures. Yeah,
genuinely.
Really cool. It's really cool.
Wow. Well, shout outs to him, man.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Doing God's work, bro.
Yeah, literally.
And that leaves number 9.
That is
it, right? Huncho. Because it was
yes.
Right. So we had Mama Annie, Queen Kendi, Donald Duck,
Donald D, Sweet A,
Johnny,
Lene, Love Lady,
Mikey,
Big Daddy Mike, and Big Azzy Huncho.
Big ass
Azzy Huncho. He's coming this month.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
When?
Dude, 22nd.
Fuck, he texted us, and I forgot to text him back.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I have heard of that whatever game he put in.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked.
So excited.
So we'll have him on.
Yes, we will.
Wait, he's coming this month.
This month.
It's crazy. We have the finale in the 27th.
Ooh, we could have him on. That shit would be fun.
Here?
If he's here, we absolutely.
I don't know if you heard that, bro. If not, we'll tell him. I think the vibe is always trying to get a special guest for the season finale. You know,
we try our best.
You already know.
Yes, sir.
Maybe even DLC. Talking about. I was thinking, to be honest with you, a DLC episode about Spider-Man.
That would be so much fun.
Maybe even something with you, Azzy, and a draw.
Yeah, that would be really fun. Get the Spideys together.
The Spideys together. So,
see if we can, oh my God.
Yeah, that's something that, as if you're listening, if y'all want this, let us know.
A Spidey cast and like bring literally, how many people do you think max we can have on a cast?
If I have the other mic set up.
Yes.
4.
4?
Yeah.
That's max.
Each mic could pick up 2 people.
Yeah, it makes
which
sense.
is great. If most people don't actually know this, but Mikey, Joshi, and I, just share one microphone.
Yeah, that's right.
And
only one.
Truly, like, it's pretty good.
Actually, we have 12 microphones, and we're in a huge studio with padded. No, I know, but I'm tired of lying. By the way,
tired of lying.
I'm tired. I am. I'm about to shout out Azzy Huncho. He does YouTube. Check him out. He, I think he's doing a break on social media, but you can also follow him on social media.
Hey, bro.
But he's absolutely. is at Azzy X Huncho. That's AZZY XHUNCHO.
Is he still making YouTube videos?
Oh yeah, he's on that grind, baby.
Make sure he's still on the grid, but off the grid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He does STG Mondays.
Let's also shout out real quick the other two members of the Flash Force. Which,
that's right.
Johnny is a part of that after recording an episode with us. By the way,
that's right.
And that's where Azzy will bump up to as well. But Azzy's like, even like Johnny, like if they still want to be like sponsors, that's so cool. You know?
Yeah, I have a special love for any sponsor who also has like listened to multiple episodes before they were a sponsor and all that kind of stuff. I love that.
I completely agree.
So Azzy's a part of that group for sure.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah, and John is a part of like the OG, right? Well, I'm pretty sure Azzy has been too.
Yeah, he definitely has.
Yeah. So we've also got Demon Hunter Caleb.
Oh yeah, Caleb.
And wait,
you got it.
Shadow Buddy
Music. There you go.
Yeah, I was like, wait. Demon Hunter Caleb was like in my mind.
Yeah.
Do you do you see a word in your mind and then say it and you can like spell it based on what you see?
No, I'm dyslexic. I can't see words in my mind.
You can't see words.
I'm all visual, and then there's a disconnect between words in my brain. It's literally the condition of words don't show up in my head the right way.
Yeah.
So if I try to spell something, I have to remember how I've spelt it before, and even that I can't trust. Oh, fuck. So it's like I don't see it. It's like I literally have to spell it out. It's painful. It sucks. I hate it.
It's pain.
It's fine.
It is pain.
I'll make it.
Hey, shout out to those guys. Those guys are a huge part of who we are and huge part of the Flash.
All that music. That's Shadow Buddy right there, man. Come on.
Also, those two guys specifically, I have known personally.
Well, you know for a minute.
They have been involved in the inception of the podcast before I even met Josh.
That's right, buddy.
So,
that's right.
They're just as much a part of this as anybody.
Agreed.
I say. Agreed. So,
agreed.
With that being said, Josh,
yes.
I think I'm ready for another break. I need to get up and stretch. My body's like
let's take a break,
crying, and then let's dive
into the main topic.
That's it, baby.
Let's get it.
All right, Joshi.
Welcome back.
We are here. Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
One and all. I'm letting you take the wheel, my friend.
Perfect.
Because today's main topic is on episode 1 of
Xenosaga. It's actually called Xenosaga Episode I, Der Wille zur Macht.
Okay.
So that I want to break down what we're talking about.
That's German.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay.
So that's German. I want to break down what Xenosaga is all about, because during the last time we talked on this cast,
yes,
I started it and I said it's pretty interesting and I can't wait to get into it.
You were also playing Xenoblade X.
I was also at the same time.
Yeah,
I haven't played so much.
But that
of
was
X.
like your main.
Yeah,
you were going through that more passively. I guess.
I really was. You're so right. And there was a point that you reach in every JRPG where you can't just run the story. You need to mess around with your characters. You need to find great ways to level them up. You need to, especially in a Takahashi game, you need to go, because Takahashi loves his in-depth character builds, and Xenosaga is no different. I'm not kidding. There's a point you hit. I certainly hit it, where I was like, I can't just keep running the story. I'm losing to bosses, right? I need to dig deep and learn what's going on, learn the mechanics, truly make this game my own, right?
Absolutely. So
I just want to break down what I've experienced with this, because as who is it? Caleb. He's a huge fan of Xenosaga, and I want to do this justice.
And
when we're talking about
me and him have talked a little bit since I got back.
Oh yeah.
But I sent him the text you told me to.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, which was
Lost
Jerusalem is found. Which I thought was really interesting, because not knowing what that means, I mean, in the Bible, in the book of Revelation, it talks about...
break that down, can't you?
New Jerusalem.
New Jerusalem.
It's not Lost Jerusalem, it's New Jerusalem, right?
Yes.
And so there's a lot of implications in that naming, and it just makes me interested.
I completely agree. And I would say there's a lot of things that I'm going to touch upon that I think will interest you. And
I'm sorry. I wanted to say, too, he said he has played all of Xenosaga.
Yes.
He'll have to touch up on the lore, he said.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't quite pinpoint what you were talking about, even. And I said, definitely brush up, because that's what Josh and I are going to be talking about.
We absolutely will.
Because he just told me this. Your text
I was going to ask. Oh, yeah, because I broke it down a little bit.
Joshi, just to, recap for even you, maybe to remind you, it was literally, I think, the day before.
Do you mind if I read those texts actually out loud?
Yeah.
I just want to,
it summarizes, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
I think it will be a good way to jump into this whole conversation. You know what I mean?
And can I say that Josh and I don't really
text
not
really
at all.
And we never really had to.
No.
Never, because it's just
we talked about
roomies.
this in pregame,
we did.
right? Because Josh and I's friendship is unique.
Yeah.
Because we became best friends through living together. And it wasn't really like, that's ultimately why, I think.
Yeah.
But it definitely propelled it to be what it is.
Of course.
We just never had a period where we didn't live together.
Yeah, and also, we're at a point where I will see you. I will see you eventually.
Your relationship is just different at that point. So we don't really call to hang out.
Right.
We don't really text to hang out.
So much.
We just do it when we do it.
Yeah, when we do it.
And
I really was feeling, because, dude, when I sent that text, like you saw, I sent you a picture. That was me completely finishing the game. It boots you out to the front, and I was just thinking about it. I was seriously amazed. I'm going to read this real quick. Okay. So this is what I sent. This is the text I sent to Sam. I said...
By the way, I knew instantly when you sent me this text that this is what we were doing.
This is what we were doing the episode on. I think I knew when I was texting you too. Come on now.
He's on it.
I said I just beat Xenosaga Episode I, and holy shit! Agree. By the way, this is just how I'm gonna get into it.
Not just agreeing with himself.
It's a great point. It's a great point.
It is.
That game was incredible, and I went all in on this game, like, seriously. I was just trying to play it casually, but the game almost demands this level of deep, this level of getting deep into each and every single system that's put in front of you. And then I said, kind of like, I don't know, Xenoblade? all caps, of course. It's just like Xenoblade in the sense that I was hooked on every aspect of the game, and the combat only felt like it kept evolving as long as I wanted to push what I could do over and over in the same way that I get hyped over Xenoblade. It's the same way where you get out how much you push forward. And I would love to break that down even more, but I'll finish this text. I said, once again, Tetsuya Takahashi has blown me away with one of the most complex worlds and systems I've ever experienced to this date. This game is seriously on a whole nother level when it comes to JRPGs out there. The amount of love I hold for this series already is incredible. And I just want to say I agree with that completely. That was my initial feelings after completing the story.
Oh, yeah.
And the game, basically. I want to break down a little bit kind of how this story became relevant to me as a Xenoblade fan.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spoil Future Redeem for you at all. But I do want to go into a little bit.
I want to say of
the story a little bit.
For sure.
If that's okay.
Here's I want to say two very important things. Yes. The first is for the audience. Yes. So obviously, from this point forward, it will be immense spoilers.
Spoilers for
Joshi already knows I am of the two of us in the dynamic, I am okay with spoilers happening, either naturally necessary or like by accident. Sure. I just have a higher tolerance. I think it doesn't ruin things for me like it does for you.
It definitely ruins for sure.
It does.
It'll change it no matter what.
We had a whole conversation about this topic in pregame, so check that out if you want to hear what that's about. But truly, it's just a part of our dynamic, right? Yes. So the second thing I want to say is I don't want you to hold back any kind of like rants, ideologies, whatever you're feeling, because truly I think the beauty
of that, by the way.
Dude, like I'll be real, I think like I saw a certain vision of the podcast that I didn't think. Okay, let me say it this way.
Okay.
I don't think the podcast would have happened at the time of when we started it if we didn't start Xenoblade.
I completely agree.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I completely agree.
It is more integral to this podcast, I think, than The Legend of Zelda.
Absolutely. Which is so funny because we have the Triforce in our current logo at the moment, which is hilarious.
I think we should change something.
Make it a Trinity processor.
Anyways.
Ooh, shit. Dave is calling me.
Oh, Dave's calling?
Yeah.
That is our landlord.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick pause. All right, we are officially back.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Dave the landlord.
Dave, landlord, legend.
The legendary landlord. Actually,
yes. Landlord legend.
He probably gets shouted out every episode.
He probably does. Yeah, he low-key does.
Genuinely, especially when you lived here, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course. All right. I'm going to get back on to what we were talking about.
Let's dive right back in.
I want to dive right back in.
Yeah.
I was asking, we went through the whole spoiler point, and I was asking if it's okay if I explain the simple connections between Xenoblade and Xenosaga, because those are some of my favorite points in this first.
Well, did I get to my second explanation, or second thing I wanted to tell you?
I'm going to be honest, I don't remember.
I don't think I did.
So preface.
I think Dave
showed up.
Calling
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Oh, that was deep.
Excused.
It's still there.
Is there?
There's like a tiny one. Got it.
There it is.
Got it, baby. The second thing I wanted to say, Joshi, is that
that was fucking funny, dude. You just literally went. My second point. Perfect. Anyway.
So.
Yes.
Okay, really,
Yes.
I'll give two shits. I really, if you can avoid Future Redeemed, that is truly
that's
the
all.
only
that's all I will.
part I care about.
Yes.
And even if you accidentally say something, unless you make it obvious, I probably am not gonna connect that dot anyway.
I'm going to help you out because I'm going to tell you a couple important details.
Okay.
But not anything you need to worry about with Future Redeemed.
Okay.
Just what connects this.
I also want to say,
you know what I mean?
I might have already possibly heard everything on your list.
Possible?
Right.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I don't even have a list written. I just have talking points that I'm interested in.
Yeah. So do not hold back.
I shall not hold back
for me, brother.
I want to start us off before we get into the true synopsis of the game, or even the setup that I kind of want to explain a little bit. So obviously it's called Der Wille zur Macht, which is German for the will of power, which is a reference to the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche's concept for the main driving force in humans, namely achievements, ambition, and striving to reach the highest possible position in life, which is the will of power. That's the idea. Yeah. And he was a German philosopher, and so it's translated to German. Those guys on, what are their names? The podcast that we both watched on accident.
Resident Arc.
Resident Arc.
Yeah.
They call it, they coined this term, and it's very xenotypical, is what they called it. Xenotypical to just translate
That's
something
so
like that, from English to German, just because. But I think it sets a precedent for the idea of the universe, and truthfully, what is setting up with this whole idea. Now, I kind of want to just... I just want to set up kind of how Xenosaga exists and how this kind of all works together, because Xenosaga is set in the pretty far future. So it's pretty far within the realms of almost an other world, if that makes sense. The Earth is not really something we experience. You know what I mean? Because it's so far in the future.
Is it still Earth?
No. Earth is Lost Jerusalem.
Earth is Lost Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
kind of. It's the system that it exists in. So Lost Jerusalem is kind of lost to where what humanity knows of it, and no one knows how to get there. And it's kind of almost like a piece of the star system is gone from all maps. It's just missing, and no one knows how to find those because they can't travel through there, and you can't really map the stars if you don't know where you're going. Right?
Okay.
It's very strange. It's very mystical when it's first introduced in the series, because it's almost like, okay, well, it's extremely far in the future. There's no like records or anything like that. Apparently not. So it just feels something a little otherworldly, a little strange.
Okay.
Something has happened. But I want to get it started where the first game literally starts with the finding of the Zohar. That's how the first game literally boots up the cutscene of the Zohar being discovered, which was discovered in a part of Africa. I can't actually remember. They say which part. But do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah. But that's where they find the Zohar. Okay. And the Zohar
which I'm pretty sure matches Xenoblade, no?
Yes. It's does. Exactly, exact same thing.
Yep.
Because, spoiler alert, it's the same thing. The conduit is the Zohar.
Literally.
It is, it's unmistakable with just some of the things we know about Klaus's world. It's 100%. Unmistakable.
Can I interject?
Please.
Please. That reminds me.
Yes.
Ding,
ding dong.
That reminds me. Before playing Xenoblade.
Yes.
Before ever getting to anything that has to remotely do with the conduit. Caleb took me on a bit of a lore trip.
Oh, did he?
To be honest, a lot of it was so above my head, and he was coming rough off it.
Oh yeah.
This was years ago.
Oh yeah,
we've been friends for 12 years. So
right.
This is maybe 10 years ago. He's giving me all this, and I'm not even really super into JRPGs.
Yeah.
And I'm what the heck is he talking about?
Yeah.
So. Now, coming back to the xenotypical,
the xenotypical,
all this stuff, dude, I just remember having this feeling right when they talked about, they dug up an artifact, an alien-like artifact in Africa, and it's called the Conduit, and I'm like.
Called the Zohar, yeah.
Why does this sound familiar?
Yes.
And then they showed the picture, and I'm like. Whoa! Looked it up, and I'm like,
not just
dude.
So let me break down. I think this is a great way to start in the world of Xenosaga, because the true center of this world. I'll break it down a little bit lore wise. Okay. The world consists of multiple dimensions, but there's two solid, maybe not even solid, two domains that are the truth of the universe. You know about this?
The real number domain.
That's almost a different concept, but you're right. That is the
imaginary domain.
The imaginary domain, and it's the upper domain and lower domain is the term.
Oh, true.
So you could say real number. That's not wrong at all. But imaginary number is what you're thinking.
They call it imaginary number.
Imaginary number domain is where the collective unconscious exists.
Yes.
So just breaking it down super simple, somewhere in the lower domain, almost like a different. It's not a different universe.
Yeah.
It's almost like a different wavelength of reality.
Right.
It's where
that's the lower domain.
Yeah. Undis Mundus. What's it called? Undis Mundus. UMN network is founded.
Yes.
Which is it's based in the imaginary number domain. But there's also a consciousness that exists in there, and other things that we learn about, like gnosis, that exist, which are creations of the collective unconscious, which is kind of amazing because already this idea of a collective unconscious explains how Zed came to be in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. When those people of these two lower domains, which was split using the Zohar, I'll get into that, once they start to try and come together and they're reset, what happens is the collective unconscious of both of these are coming back together to one domain and creating Zed. That's how Zed came to be. It's the collective unconscious's kind of response, because that is every person while also not being just some being, if that makes sense. So I didn't really want to. I'm going to break it down from the beginning. The Zohar.
No, I hope you know I'm following.
Okay, cool.
I got all this.
Yeah.
All
right.
Yeah. I'm 100% with you.
Let me know if you're confused on anything or if I'm losing.
No, totally
you.
Get it. Okay. In fact, I'll even this is how I see it. So correct me if I'm wrong again, but how I see it is there's an upper domain and a lower domain.
Yep.
The lower domain is everything you're basically experiencing playing the game. It's the real world. It's you're physically running around. It's everything that you're experiencing.
Yes.
Humanity is in the lower domain.
That's
the
right.
upper domain is it's literally a different wavelength. I think in Xenogears, it's waveform is because it's literally an upper wave, right?
Yes.
So it's literally, it's beyond the lower domain's like senses to literally pick up anything that has to do with the upper domain. The upper domain can come down, but I don't understand why they don't.
So you might be, yes, I do. I think you might be mixing a little bit of the imaginary number and the upper domain. The upper domain rarely interacts with the lower domain at all. The only thing that interacts... Right? The upper domain is a being called Udu, which is essentially the creation of the lower domain. This being is very strange because it is essentially God, while at the same time, Jesus Christ was also born and was the Son of God, possibly in relation to Udu, but had the ability to create things like the anima relics are extremely important. They were what was buried with the Zohar. Actually, the Zohar was actually put underneath a river, and it was once that riverbed dried up in Africa was when they were finally able to sense the energy that was coming out of it. Jesus is the one that put those objects there. So the Zohar, I'll explain that super simply, is the only access. It's a gateway. That's what it is.
Okay.
It is a gateway between the upper domain and the lower domain. It's the only gateway to those said parts. There is no traveling between those two without the Zohar. So, it's not really something that kind of interacts with each other too often, right? But you are right about wavelengths and those ideas. Udu wavelengths are a real thing. However, those come through the Zohar.
Okay. So then that makes total sense, by the way. So then separating upper and lower, right? Where it's basically God realm, non-God realm.
Yes.
Okay. Lower domain is now split into like real number domain and imaginary number domain.
That's right.
Right? And so in the real number domain, that's the physical world you see, you can interact with.
Yeah.
The imaginary number, that's where the collective unconscious exists.
That's where it exists.
Within the lower domain.
Within the lower domain's consciousness that's connected to...
Got it.
Yeah. So that's it. That being, which is the collective unconscious, at least from what I'm seeing, and to be honest with you, I don't know as much as probably other people because of the fact that I haven't played the third game at all. So that, I know it goes into a lot of those things. So that being is the creator of the Gnosis while also being a collective, that's where people go when they die, essentially. It's a consciousness that exists, and it's almost...
they're connected by a tether, right? To the real number?
Yes, just because of consciousness. That's the only real... But the UMN is possibly what you're thinking of, which is essentially the virtual world. It's like what Meta's trying to do with the metaverse, but it's real. It's like you can travel to different places and beings because humans were able to use what's called the Y data to basically break into the imaginary number domain and have its base at the imaginary... of the UMN at the imaginary number domain. It's kind of fascinating because it's almost like humans don't know what they've stumbled onto. So this idea of like being in this other dimension, right? If you dig deep into the UMN, which there's literally like UMN addicts, they literally don't leave, basically. If you dig deep enough, technically at the center of those things, and this is crazy, I just know this, I haven't seen it myself, at the center is Udu, is somehow the base to what the imaginary number domain is. So not only is there almost this tie between Udu and the Zohar, but there's this tie with the UMN, which I find extremely fascinating. Have I lost you at all?
No, yeah.
So I'm going to break down.
I just have questions, but
Perfect.
I'm also like picturing Udu. Yeah. It's like almost like this Vati looking kind of like... Like
he actually doesn't have a form. Well,
interesting.
He does take a form when speaking to a character, but it's not really a he, like a god. It is its own being.
Yeah.
And it can make deals with people, it'll talk with people, but it's formless. If you look up Udu, it's genuinely just like this red mass you see, just it's really fascinating. It's crazy. Genuinely fascinating. So I want to break down a little bit what happens with the Zohar.
Okay.
Because, and I know this is I'm kind of just going crazy, but I honestly just wanted to be honest with you.
I want you to, bro.
So
I'm serious. I'm completely following.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is all very familiar.
Yeah.
I'm
going to keep you in the loop.
New. Yeah.
I'm going to keep you in the loop of how this
I think
works.
because Udu's not familiar with me. So,
yeah. So that is something that the Xeno world is based upon. Is a very xenotypical. Is the lower domain. That is, and that idea of having the Udu and the collective unconscious, those ideas still go into the idea of Xenoblade.
I'm so I can't wait to dive into every part of this and hear your take and the connection.
So I want to get into that right now because literally see the Zohar in Xenoblade 2. You
Absolutely.
See it. It is, and also you see it all the time. Here is the Zohar right there.
He's got Mithra.
Yeah, so...
a statue.
Yes.
The beautiful duo statue of Pyra
and Mithra. So that's it right there. So let me break down with the... what's it called? What's it called? The Zohar. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I was getting distracted. I was thinking of Pyra and Mithra.
The conduit.
The conduit. Yes. Just a name for the Zohar.
Yes.
Right? So the whole timeline of that is that it's originally found. I could find names. I don't know if I'm going to. Oh, I should though. If I'm doing a little lore thing. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to do that. So, a college professor who was leading an expedition in Africa finds the Zohar. The Zohar is then brought to Toronto, Canada, where it is studied for the first time in a lab that's controlled by, I can't remember this guy's name. I think his name is Connor something, but I honestly can't remember. We're going into fun lore.
Okay, yeah.
This guy kind of creates the whole, like, the idea of what the Zohar is. Some experiments go wrong, and the Zohar starts to create this energy field that shuts down and kills basically people in this radius that exists.
Oh shit!
There's a character named Wilhelm who is the oldest being in existence. Wilhelm was put on the lower domain basically by Udu to take care of the lower number domain, while also being kind of a... He kind of like shadow runs the whole existence of everything. Yeah, he runs everything basically.
Right. I remember
he is able to use his abilities.
Yeah, I've read because I didn't actually, but or listened to in all of these this lore talk from the these guys who like Resident Arc. They really know their stuff.
Oh, they know
and like and all these connections with like mythology or stories or references. It's crazy how deep all of this goes in a big fucking web.
Oh my gosh.
It's masterpiece. It's very xenotypical.
It's extremely xenotypical.
But I think I remember that this guy was involved with every single major world decision.
Yes, because
from the beginning.
He is the runner of this world, essentially. He was a part of... He had his own, like, basic religion. It was a part of his decision to get Jesus Christ crucified. And he had a part in a lot of these things that were the entire time. And little do we know, he is the one who controls this energy field that the Zohar gives off. This is bad news for the Earth, because this is an infinite energy machine.
Yes.
It gives off infinite energy. There's no limit to the amount that it can give off, just the limit to how much we can handle. So
it's almost like this concept of like the upper domain is unlimited, right? Almost like a heaven-esque, right? And,
absolutely.
The lower domain is like, that's a never-ending theme.
Yes.
There is finite everything. Yes. Resource, right? Time, energy, all that bullshit. So.
Absolutely. So, just getting into it really quickly, I'm not going to try and say too much of stuff that we learn in Future Redeemed.
Okay.
But I'm just going to explain that after this point in time where the Zohar kind of went out of nuts, right?
Out of nuts?
Out of it kind of went crazy.
Like it went crazy and killed people.
Killed people.
Okay.
That's right. Kind of just an energy field. It wasn't really, it wasn't just doing it out of malice or anything. It's actually kind of interesting because there's a theme in Xenosaga about humans almost being like moths who fly towards a flame, where it's like you're fascinated with it, but you fly too close and you burn. You will die.
Yeah.
Right? And so that is a constant idea.
Test our limits.
Yes. Literally. So, so I just wanted to explain that after that happens with the Zohar, and that man perishes, basically, the three orbital, an orbital ring was built around the Earth, and three towers, sky elevators, or beanstalks is what they call them, were built.
Three?
Yeah, three. So that's something we learn in the the freaking, what's it called?
I don't know. The art book?
Yes, basically. It's a piece that comes with the what's the name of the ultimate mech from Xenoblade 2? The one that could shoot that massive laser? Zion? No.
No. Aeon.
Ion.
Yeah.
Ion. Yes.
Yeah.
So that has this lore sheet that comes with it, and it explains all this stuff. Three orbital towers were put into, and that's where the Zohar was studied for the rest of the time that Earth existed. So what ends up happening is there's actually a lot. There's a lot that happens on the Earth that comes with the what are these guys called? The fucking the Saviorite rebels. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. You remember them? They were the ones who were attacking the first low orbit station that we see in Xenoblade 2 in the flashback.
Did they say Saviorite rebels?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
Why are they called Saviorite rebels?
Well, I could explain kinda, but it goes into a little bit of theories too. So they're rebels. The Saviorites are the name of I don't want to. Okay, well there was a guy who kind of started this whole. The Saviorites were just a group of people that were like genetically altered children, and we learned that they were applying for a human's rights bill, basically, and were denied it, which is hilarious because of the social commentary in which that has a human rights bill being denied, right? And with that became kind of an escorting to a different style of fighting, which was kind of like rebellion and almost a little bit of like counterterrorism, which makes sense if you're denied human rights. So basically, there's a scientist named Klaus. We know this guy pretty well. He made the decision because he saw human rights bill being denied. Fires in the sky, literally giant mechs burning each other. He made a decision on his own front. I wanted to actually touch on something else because I realized I'm moving a little quicker than I wanted to.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So
I'm fully on board.
The reason that these I'll call them what they are. These AI, basically computer chips, were built. The Trinity processor was to understand and study the Zohar while also learning how to use energy from it, basically.
Right.
They're built in the image of the Zohar. They are almost like small versions of the Zohar.
Could you say that they're still existing pieces of the Zohar?
They are... I'd say they're more like emulators. Essentially, I'll use the word emulator more, which are things that humans build in the Xenosaga world. There are Zohar emulators. They don't come close to the amount of ability. Yep.
Really?
There are 8 of them, or 7. I think there's 7 of them.
There's 7. You said.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
So there's 7 plus there's the original, and so they're more like emulators. They were 3 AIs that were used to work together to basically study this thing. And with that, they were able to... It was the AI's choice in this Trinity processor, which was Ontos, Logos, and Numa. Those 3 made the choice to basically use the power of the Zohar, the conduit, to power the low orbit station, the entire orbital ring, and Ion. And those extremely powerful artifices, which were built which have another Zohar emulator, if you notice, that directly connects to the Trinity processor. Those were used as defenses. Ion was dangerous because it was basically created with the ability to destroy the entire Earth. It could. It genuinely could. And
Ion's fucking crazy. And
activating...
So is,
Leviathan. It's called something, but it's also the Leviathan.
It's the Leviathan,
essentially,
and awesome.
Yeah, extremely.
Yeah,
cool.
I love the concept.
I'll tell you.
Yeah,
I have literally slowly opened up to mechs so much through this experience.
Same.
Like seriously,
exactly the same.
I would have normally, especially for me, it was starting with Mechon. I'm like, Mechon are cool. Fuck.
Bless you, bro.
I choked on my own spit. Fuck.
Hey, cheers to that.
Cheers, buddy. So, opening up with the Mechon, and then going to artifices with Ion and the other artifices, and then even moving on to, like, Xenoblade 3 and seeing the... What are they called in 3? The giant mechs that they fight in?
Yeah, they're...
Like freaking Kamarabi and Ethel.
They have such a weird...
I don't remember, dude.
I know.
It's okay.
Yeah, it'll come to me.
It will, it will.
They just have
weird
names, yeah.
Xeno has just opened me to being completely open. Very xenotypical. I'm very open to mechs. So, through this,
Furanis.
There's many... Furanis, so right.
It'll always come, bro.
It always does.
Yeah.
So, this Trinity processor became extremely important, obviously, to the games we know.
Yeah.
But it was the original studier of the conduit, or the new studier of the conduit after the last one was killed. We're learning that this is out of our world technology, and computers. They literally created a computer version of the conduit that has an AI that works with two other AIs to all create the most intelligent piece of technology. It's the reason why in the universe of Xenoblade 2, the way that's created, they are a being. They are essentially an existence. There is something holy about the Aegis. It is coming from Zohar technology mixed with AI. What comes from that? Pneuma. That's what comes from. Like a power that is physically tangible. To explain why that happens, obviously, Klaus, unhappy with the way he sees the world, looks at the Zohar as a gateway to another. What he was truly thinking was that it was going to ascend them to the upper domain.
Oh, yeah.
And that was what he believed, was that we are going to have a new form of existence. Kinda not. What he ends up doing is separating the lower domains into multiple pocket dimensions. And those pocket dimensions can exist, but these pocket dimensions are extremely unique because the Zohar is what brought them apart. And that is kind of different than the way other lower domain pocket dimensions exist. And therefore why they want to come back together. Especially after the conduit is destroyed. Which is, we learned from the art books that the reason that Future Connected is called that is because after the conduit leaves it's another conduit at the time. It's another Zohar. So it exists within every pocket dimension while also existing as itself no matter what. It is one existence. It's like a doorway. If a doorway has multiple rooms leading to it, it'll still be the same door. Does that make sense? I know that's a lot.
No, but...
So if I can draw something...
It's bringing me to Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Is what it's bringing me to.
A lot of this stuff will bring you back to the Bible. So let me explain. If this right here...
But like, explaining it is everything, it is not.
Yes.
Right? That kind of concept. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like 3 in 1.
Do you have another...
you can't really think about it too hard. They just are.
Okay. So, breaking this down.
Okay.
Our lower domain, lower D is what I'm going to put it. That is the initial one that exists, right? And we'll draw a little conduit to show that it's there.
Beautiful.
Right? That's where it exists, right? That's the original conduit. Because it was used as a gateway to multiple, what's it called? Pocket dimensions.
Yes.
Put those as PD. It still exists as its own gateway to the upper domain, which I'll make it red because Udu's red. That's the upper domain. See that right there? So it is still the gateway there, while also being the same gateway that exists for those pocket dimensions, because it is metaphysical. It is physical, but it's metaphysical, because the idea is it exists within the lower domain, no matter what, if it's a pocket dimension or if it's the initial universe. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So even if it creates that new universe, there's a physical doorway that exists in the original lower domain. Does that make sense? So that's how the Zohar is able to exist in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 while also existing in Xenosaga at the same time. So once it creates those, the only thing left from Earth was the conduit, because it's still the only gateway with the lower domain. If this is one solid piece of the lower domain and it's the only gateway, it'll exist in all of the pocket dimensions as well.
And so that would be why it disappears at the end of 2. So now the worlds want to merge.
They don't exist with a gateway. They don't exist with that. So that existence, once that's gone and fades to some other reality or fades from this reality, these pocket dimensions are no longer connected with the Zohar and therefore must exist in one space, which that one space, once it comes together, will become the original space that it either deletes itself from existence, like we see in Xenosaga, where they're like, oh, there's just a chunk of the map. We don't know how to get there because it doesn't exist in our dimension. I know that's so crazy, but Takahashi is a fucking madman. So check this out. Okay. Once they come together, either they delete themselves or through light, which is the collective unconscious and the lower domain. That's what they're talking about in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. If they can activate Origin and reconnect all of them, they will appear back in the lower domain. I don't want to explain why that's possible, but it's explained in Future Redeemed.
Okay.
So I don't want to give you too much on there. But that's the point.
Okay.
So in Future Connected, we see fog beasts, which are all enemies from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The final villain being one of those beings from the land of Moratha, right? And I forget what they're called.
Wait.
They're like the zombie
talking
guys.
About Future
Connected, not Future Redeemed.
Yeah.
Yes. So you know the fog beast?
Yes.
That is the element of those worlds shifting into each other's. It happened in Rex's. We just haven't seen it because there hasn't been a 2 definitive edition yet.
Oh, true.
But Future Connected is Shulk dealing with after. Because think about it. Once he kills Zanza, and this is the incredibleness of this story being truly chronological, once Shulk kills Zanza, the architect ceases to exist from this world, and therefore the Zohar will continue, or will fail to exist in this world because he was the activator of it and almost kind of is the one using it and holding it in that dimension. So once Shulk kills Zanza, his other half disappears, which creates these universes to have to move physically towards each other in this lower domain other sense. So these universes are coming towards each other, and it's up to Melia and Nia to fix the whole situation. So that's kind of how it works, and that's the whole connection between those two. So, and one of the biggest reasons why pocket dimensions are crazy is because they also exist on their own time frames, which these ultimately existed at the same time because they were what was created. Zanza was split into 2 because, and I could even theorize on why that is. I believe it's I honestly don't want to say too much because of Future Redeem. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, that's cool. I literally don't care that much. I hope you
do. You understand what I'm saying? I know Takahashi's a madman.
Yeah, he is a madman.
This is the whole point. The reason those are able to exist at the same time as those.
Yes, I understand. Yeah, the simultaneousness of it. Completely. In fact, it makes so much sense.
Makes sense.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It makes
once you kind of wrap your brain and kind of physically look at it.
He didn't say it at the end of 2, but he alluded to it. Right. He basically said, "Oh, I have a feeling I'm gonna disappear soon."
Yeah.
If I disappear, Zohar is probably going to disappear too. That's exactly what happened, bro. And he's not God. He couldn't tell the future, truly. Yeah. But he did have immense power, especially with how exactly he was split.
Yes.
And he was like connected, but disconnected.
He was
2 but 1. right?
Yes.
So he knew he was about to die.
Yeah,
and,
he absolutely knew.
And he also knew he was holding it together.
Right.
It makes so much sense.
It was. So that's incredible because Klaus he kind of splits things up, but he's the reason on why the people of the lower domain cannot find Lost Jerusalem. That's the explanation. There is no way to get there because it doesn't exist in our dimension. Those ideas, it was actually going to spread even further than just our solar system. But it ceased because Wilhelm was there to stop it and then grabbed the Zohar and used it basically from that point on. It was left on what was called... there were multiple places. Here, all right. Now that we have that all said, I'm going to break down where we start in the game. Because Xenosaga is... 4,000, let me see. I have put the number here sometime. At some point. Yeah, so the year takes place in 4,767 TC, which stands for Transcending Christ. Humans, humans have colonized over 500,000 planets in the galaxy and are connected through... The reason that that's even possible is because of the creation of... it's an information network spanning the entire galaxy called the UMN, which is the one I was explaining, is connected through the imaginary number domain. Humans almost don't even know it the way they discovered that. So it's almost this social commentary on this idea of how incredible a device would be to it connect people while also we don't really understand it. Like we don't really, that kind of idea.
500,000 planets.
So it's like this almost VR where you have to dive into it, but you can talk to someone immediately. There's no traveling light years or anything to get a message across. It is in that second because it doesn't exist in our dimension. It is technically a part of the imaginary number domain. So the UMN is the reason that it's able to even exist completely. The Zohar is currently...
How are they tapping in?
They discovered the wavelength basically. So when you're explaining that wavelength idea, they found it using what's called the Y data. It was Joachim Mizrahi, which is the one that discovered the Y data discovered kind of the way the UMN was. Well, it wasn't him completely. He discovered the Y data, which is humans kind of just came across the UMN by diving into certain wavelengths, almost like turning the radio and just trying to find a signal. So they were able to find it, don't really understand it, but hey, 500,000 planets now, which is incredible.
That's crazy.
The Zohar, by the point of the beginning of the story, is completely lost because of the Michelin conflict. Basically kept Milsha, which was the planet that the Zohar was set on top of. Basically, they set it into a space-time anomaly because of just the events of something. I don't really need to go into it. But essentially, that's how Gnosis, which are the primary villain of Xenosaga Episode I, I'll get into them in a second because I want to break down the combat a little bit.
The combat?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you mind if we took a break real quick?
Please,
actually?
I
think I gotta
Let's do it.
take a fat leak.
You gotta take a pee-pee?
Pee-pee.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're back.
Yes, we are.
Let's dive right back in. Break it. You're about to break down the combat.
I wanted to get into just where it places right now, and then we'll get into the start of the combat. Almost as if we're doing a little playthrough, right? You get what I'm saying? So check us out. Because of this, the fact that the Zohar was lost, and basically all we have are the Zohar emulators. The draw to power and attention are those emulators, and you have one that the start of the game is this ship, basically by it was a UTIC ship with employees from this thing called Vector, which are basically it's like an arms company, but they also work on what are called Realians, which are basically they're still bio people, they're made up of physical, they have blood and stuff, but they are man-made and programmable, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's
Is it like Dune? Those
I don't think there's any robots in Doom. Technically, they're
they walk around and they're almost programmed.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what I mean?
Yes, but there's no robots in Dune.
Maybe
Thinking of Star Wars. But yeah, it's like I don't know. They originally they just recently got human rights basically for the first time. Oh. But there's still weaponized versions of them that are made.
Okay.
Cosmos is a Realian. She is.
I see.
She is a robot, but she's physical, right?
Okay.
If that makes sense. But her brain is programmed.
To be honest, I just know what she is. Yeah. But I don't think I really knew what that species was.
It's
and I didn't really understand how she would be. I don't know, different from Aegis, who's genuinely just AI.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, she's not an AI. Well, yeah, she kind of is. She's a being. Yeah. But her personality and all those things are programmable, basically.
Yeah, she's AI.
She is. Yeah, I'd say that.
Because she can grow, right, and get smarter. And adapt.
Yeah. I mean, she would grow, but yeah, it's just it's a little different. It's just the personality you form is kind of programmed in. Naturally. So there's a character we meet later. Oh,
instead of being go through a fresh slate.
Yes. Yeah. So the character Momo that we meet, who is kind of based on Mizrahi. What's his name? Yohim Mizrahi. His daughter,
guy who discovered
he discovered the Y data, which is just an important piece hidden in the Zohar. He's also the one that made the emulators for the Zohar, which are extremely powerful. He also worked on the 100 series Realians, which are based on his late daughter Sakura, and that's why Momo kind of has this personality to her, even though she's pretty fresh because it's programmed into her, basically. So it's not exactly AI, but they'll learn names and they'll remember things.
Oh yeah,
it's just a little more complicated than the base AI that we have right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of it's like literal neurons, kind of like digital neurons firing in their brain. Anyway,
wow. They're not connected to a soul though in the imaginary domain.
Not from what I've seen.
Oh, okay.
I don't know though. Possibly.
Okay.
There are some answers I might not be able to give you to. By the way,
yeah.
I don't.
And this is just genuine questions I have, bro, because a lot of this is I knew base layer, but we're going deep.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I want this episode to kind of be.
I had a question.
Yes, please.
You said 100.
100 series Realian.
What's 100 series?
The 100 series has the ability to give off the Hilbert effect, which is the only way to physicality.
The way to materialize.
Thank you. Gotcha. Materialize the gnosis, which come from the imaginary number domain, so they can phase within and out of our reality. The Hilbert effect is able to basically send out a shockwave that solidifies them as people.
I see.
Or as beings of our universe.
So you can attack them.
Exactly.
Okay.
So she has that, and then she's just she was based around a lot of things, but she's a prototype, which is extremely rare.
Okay.
I'll go into the characters before we do this, but basically, just the setup is that you are on a ship working on a Realian that has the ability to give almost star system wide Hilbert effects that can materialize gnosis and attack them directly.
Okay.
This is deemed Cosmos, KOS-MOS. Cosmos is her name.
Yes.
And this is kind of one of the central figures of the Xenosaga.
This is
series.
A xenotypical character.
It is the character, to be honest. And it's very funny because I have so much respect for how they started off, and she's almost really unlikable. Which is blew my mind with how much fan art I've seen and
totally.
Even cosplays, or even the fact that she's in Xenoblade 2 and all these things, and it just really blew my mind on Takahashi's ability to storytell, right? In the same way of being I can't believe, it's like saying Taion is unlikable, but he's not. He just starts off with an arc. There's an arc to go through. And I was just surprised because she's such a central figure. I was just really impressed to see that there is real character writing and real things, because she starts off as almost like Poppy. She kind of talks like Poppy. Yeah. It's like Shion, I will work on that. Stuff like that. Very basic. Sure. Speaking of Shion, her creator and the directive chief of this group of the division that works on Cosmos. She is kind of its creator.
Wait, Shion?
Shion. Yeah. You heard that name before?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, she is basically the main character of Xenosaga.
Okay.
There's not really a single just main character, but she's the most main out of all of them, I would say.
It's not Cosmos.
No, Cosmos doesn't really take the role of the main character. Not yet, at least. Okay. I mean, she's more of an
avatar figure.
Yeah, she's just like she's a Realian, so she exists, but the whole mystery about her is what the fuck is she? Because she was built and basically had a lot of shit she was supposed to go through, but because Shion was in this like grave moment, she booted up completely. No like starting up, there's no keys to have it. She just booted up, got out of her thing, showed up and started beating the shit out of Gnosis because Shion was in trouble. And that's like the question of like, okay, what is this, like a rogue robot that's like going on like a...
But like connected?
Connected somehow.
Yeah.
And even the truth is, I think I know because I was spoiled, but, you know, I wasn't being very light with, you know, the way I was researching it before I started. So no way to be upset about it. But there is some kind
I don't think you thought you'd be spiritual. This.
I really didn't. Some kind of spiritual connection between them. Really, it's not scientific. It's set up like it's something you can explain, but sciences can't really explain it. She's supposed to be a robot. She shouldn't be able to, you know, do these things, boot up without power. And so throughout the whole series, she even says strange things. Normally, you know, she's kind of rude and abrasive, and towards the end, she says this line, which I'm probably gonna butcher, but she says something along the lines of basically like, if I save people, right, and I have people that rely on me, does that make me alive, right? That kind of thought. And then that's one of the only times in this first game where you hear just this like crazy, and all the or I think it was like one character like looks at her and is like, what did you just say? Like, what are you talking about?
Bro?
And her eyes, even in that moment, are this blue color. She has red eyes. She has blue hair and red eyes, and in that moment, she had blue eyes. Just so fascinating. So Cosmos is one of the biggest draws of just intrigue. The mystery, a huge mystery. There's so much going on.
That's a massive element to all of Xenoblade.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the questions that you have, man, just because it takes place already knowing the lore of the universe. Like, it you know, I mean, it explains things as much as possible. But there's already a lived-in world, unlike Xenoblade, where it's kind of the mystery of how did things get this way, or there's something hidden from us. Yes. Same thing with 2 and same thing with 3.
An evident past.
Yes, there is an evident past in Xenosaga. It still doesn't change the amount of mysteries that are just lined up. One of my favorites being another one of the... I'll go through the central characters. So there's Shion, Cosmos. These are playable characters too.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to kind of break down. A character named Chaos, who is extremely mysterious and also has the ability... First off, his name's Chaos. Very kind. Extremely, like, open to the people, the way they show up. A Gnosis shows up right in front of him, and he literally freezes it in time. Everyone sees this. There's literally also another character named Alan, who's like the almost the punching bag of the group. He's not even playable, but he was just Shion's subordinate.
Okay.
He was the vice chief in the place they were at, but obviously things go awry. The whole thing explodes. They're saved by Cosmos, and they're in like a escape pod, and it's her and Alan. And it honestly is one of my favorite parts of the game because Alan is hilarious. He's literally like a punching bag. They'll just like later, Shion, who's she's very charismatic. I love her as a main character. And she's also just like curious about things. Alan is constantly.
What does she look like?
She has like glasses, very typical of like late 90s mech anime. I'm not kidding.
Okay. Yeah, for
Shion,
sure. So she fights in a mech?
I mean, there's an option to fight in a mech, but I'll just show you what she looks like in the original. So that's her official art. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That's her. She's the main character, Shion. You know what I mean? Is it not late 90s mech anime.
Yeah.
So Alan, this character, he's like, he's just this punching bag. I'm sorry, I know I want to break down the game as well, but this was genuinely, like, the game is funny. It's so...
The writing's good.
It's good. It's like the way, like, Xenoblade is very serious, but it has those, levity of moments that are just so...
It doesn't take
like,
itself
it needs
too
to.
seriously,
It has
though,
to
right?
not, because that's the fun of it.
Yeah,
It's
that's literally Napon.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
You know?
So there's this scene where Shion is, like, talking with one of her other coworkers who made it out, and they're like, oh my gosh, we heard about... Or no, they didn't make it out. They were in, like, a different planet or something.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, oh my gosh, we were so worried when we found out your ship exploded, but we were so happy to find out you were alive. Oh my gosh, Shion, we were so worried. And Alan's like, you guys worried about me at all? They were like, oh my gosh, Alan, we didn't even know you were on the ship. And it was like, Al, you don't really leave a strong impression, just so you know. It's just like, oh, like, oh, fuck. And it's just always beating on this dude.
It reminds me of the best role of that, by the way. Like, sorry to interject.
No,
really,
not at all.
It's in the Sonic movies, and it's the subordinate of Eggman.
Of Eggman, yeah.
That is, like, the best pinnacle relationship of exactly
so
that.
funny.
The punching bag.
Yeah, he absolutely is. But he's a part of the central cast. He's still in the second game. He is, like... he also, like, he's one of those characters that you just fall in love with.
Sure.
Where it's like
Sokka.
Even if he's... Yeah, well, less like Sokka because he's kind of a coward. But the fact that he's able to do those things for Shion or, like break code because he cares about, like, the people who are in this game, it's so great. It really is amazing character writing. And enough so where... Anyway, there's Chaos is playable. Very mysterious. But there's also another character named Ziggurat 8, or Ziggy is what they call him. He is an early series. He's been alive for hundreds of years.
Okay.
He was a recycled body during the Human Recycling Act, which was set in motion hundreds of years ago, which has now stopped been doing. But they basically ran out of people because like manpower started getting so little that if you wrote on your like ID card that you were a donor, they would bring your body back to life with cybernetic parts and keep it alive. And so that's what Ziggy is. Ziggy's the one who
Do you know what a ziggurat is?
A ziggurat? I don't know.
I've heard the word before.
Okay. It's a company in... Oh, wow.
A ziggurat is basically a pyramid.
Wow, very interesting.
A mysterious, unsolvable, like...
So Ziggurat was called Ziggurat Industries. They were a group of... it was like a company that brought people back to life and kind of turned them into soldiers, essentially. So that's what Ziggy is. It's actually... Yeah,
it's like a square form pyramid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
like the Mexican temples and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
I love it.
Absolutely. Big, grand staircases.
Grand stuff. I love it. Ziggurat.
I mean, that's very like...
I really don't know why.
There's just meaning in everything.
There is meaning.
Right?
That's the thing. It's one of the incredible parts of...
Incredible.
It's very xenotypical. That idea, I really love it. I love... Because even that character, Ziggy, is one of my favorites. His real name was Han Sawyer.
What?
Jan. It's Jan. Jan, not Han. I was thinking of...
Han Solo?
No. I was thinking of
Hans?
I was thinking of Spanish, but it's not... It's... What is...
Juan?
Yeah, it's German.
So
Han. It's Jan. No, not Han. It's Jan. So in the same way, Aaron Yeager is not called Aaron Jaeger. He's called Aaron Yeager. So he's Jan Sawyer. And that's his original life. And he has a whole spin-off video game called Xenosaga Pied Piper, which is incredible. I've looked into it, but it's also lost media. Like, you can't get it anymore. It was on this iPhone app that updated with new, like, segments. So it's
like a live service.
Yeah, live service game, and it's called Xenosaga Pied Piper, and the characters from it show up. Everything's referenced from it because it was originally supposed to be a part of 2, but that's its own thing. So that's the origin of Jan Sawyer or Ziggy.
Like Tom Sawyer.
Ziggy, Tom Sawyer. Yeah, that's him, Jan. So there's also the last one is Momo. She is playable. She's the 100 series Realian. And she has this really great, almost like I want to say Ellie and
different.
Joel. Yeah, I mean, she's like a kid. She looks like a little kid, but she is different from the rest of the Hunter series. She's a prototype, and she contains actually the Y data, which is what makes her so important. She's actually a piece of cargo. In the first one, they're just trying to get Momo to what's it called? Second Milsha, which is the new head of the organization since old Milsha was destroyed in the Gnosis attack that I was explaining.
Oh.
And that's where the Zohar was lost.
Oh.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay.
just that whole start, that's how it gets started. Whole adventure exposed. I don't really want to go into it as in depth. I want to give it a start, and then I want to go into the combat.
Yeah.
And so basically, with those 6 characters, you have the ability to basically edit their they have an ether that you can obviously unlock with skill points. There's skill points, and then CP, which is character points, which you can basically, I guess it's character points. I don't know, but you can put that into their special attacks and their specials and all their attacks. I'll break down how this works. So it's set up in this grid of 6 by 6, but could optionally be different. So this is the breakdown of. You mind if I just write on this?
Please.
So it's done kind of like this, where it's a character could stand anywhere in these 6 spaces. This is just your characters, and the other enemies have the same amount. So this is in the back, this is in the front. This front are the only ones who will take damage or attack. You can't attack from the back row. That would be set for if you want to have a full support character who's set up for those. I actually ran it completely without using. I did use it for a little bit, especially when there was a section where it's just Ziggy and Momo, and Ziggy's an attacker, Momo's completely support. So what you do is you put a character in front of the support, and they won't get injured at all in any way. If they're open like that, like this, if they're open at all in any way, they have the ability to get attacked. Now, an all attack means that every attack hits, which is just some special attacks, right? Okay. And your character can learn. Yeah. So it's the same thing with enemies. So it gets a little bit annoying. Let's say there's this guy back here healing these enemies. You can't attack him until all these guys are dead.
All 3?
Yep. You won't even be able to damage him. So you have to literally combo string the idea of I'll break down.
Can you attack? What if he was on the right side?
No, that's the issue, is that your guys are at more of a disadvantage than they are. So enemies can almost have an upper hand where the back side is not able to be attacked at all. So I'm going to break down. There is, let's see, action points, which are extremely important. This is just how the game is played.
Okay.
Each time you attack, you can string combos together, but each time you attack, you can only attack with how many action points you get.
Is it turn-based?
It is turn-based, yeah. But your speed will adjust each one of your characters in which order they go in, or how many turns they'll have depending on the speed of the enemies that are in the. If you have a character who's faster than the enemy, they'll be able to go multiple times in your turn. Okay. So check this out. So there's a max of 6 action points. Okay, those action points, 2 are used per attack.
Okay.
So and then you always gain 4, right? So let's say...
Like when your turn ends?
Yep, your turn ends, and then once it's back, you get 4, right? So to attack twice, you'll always have 4. You attack once. 3 attacks makes a combo, by the way. So if you attack once, you'll lose that, and then you lose your combo if you only do 2 hits.
That makes sense.
The way to use a special is the 3rd attack. You with me?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the only way...
So basically, to get a combo going...
Yeah. You have to either attack once...
First turn, how many do you start with?
You start with 4.
4? So you would use 1, okay? And then wait.
Next turn,
you have 6, so use your
Great idea. That's a great way to do it, but you also have a guarding option. The guard blocks you don't attack, but you only use 2. You only use 2 of those. And then when you come back, so you can start off with a guard, or if you want, I did this end game. This shit went crazy. If you're able to, this is getting a little end game, but that special, that special you get after the third attack. If you're able to upgrade it, which takes skill points, and you're going to be pouring skill points into a bunch of different stuff, so it's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
Putting those skill points into your ult skips the need for the second attack. Does that make sense? So normally you need the first attack and then the third, because you need 6 skill points to finish a combo. If you're able to upgrade this ultimate, you can remove the need and literally go straight from can use
to ultimate.
And if you have a multi-hit, you could literally start off the match with a multi-hit that annihilates at least a solid number of hits on this entire grid. Wow. Depending on even if they're in the back, doesn't matter if it's a multi-hit.
Okay, so you tapped into this.
I was locked into this, Sam. Not only was I doing that, I had healers. I made Chaos this almost designated. So what I did was, I've completely forgot a character, by the way. There was a character named Junior, who he almost looks like a red-haired Dante if he was a little kid. He dresses like Dante.
Oh, okay.
And he's kind of this, they call him the young master. He's kind of like this spunky little kid, kind of sounds like Ash Ketchum. And he dual wields, fully voice acted. He dual wields pistols, and he's highly related to the main villain. He's actually literally
dual
related.
Pistols, huh?
Yeah, but he has a cape, and but he looks like a little kid. He's got like a long dangly earring. Super tough.
Wow.
He has so much plot that's being explained, lore. That's being explained in the second game right now.
Okay.
He's what's called
a URTV.
JR, yeah. Junior
okay.
Xenosaga. You'll see what he looks like.
I want to see this.
His fit in the second game is the best because his eyes look a little too big in the first one. Take a look at the full red fit. That's his the one from Xenosaga Episode I, so that's what he looked like. And then go to the red fit. Yeah, that's my favorite one.
That's cool.
That's the second game. So that's where I'm at right now. He is one of, if not my favorite. His whole backstory is just
he's got wings.
Tragic.
Design.
He's called the Red Dragon, in fact. That's what his secret URTV name is. So just getting into some fun stuff because I think you'll enjoy this little fact.
Please.
There was a character named Dmitry Yuriev who created them and is the physical father. There's 669 of those URTVs. They are literally made because of Dmitry Yuriev's kind of condition. They are made to destroy Udu. He has this premonition that Udu's going to destroy the entire lower domain, and he's creating these URTVs, which are basically like human-made clones of his own DNA mixed with another woman of each other. And Junior is one of them. There's four, they're called variants. Junior, which is number 666. And all of them have their numbers tattooed on the middle of their hands. So you literally see in the first game, a little element of mystery, he has 666 tattooed on his hand in red. And he has a brother named, I just know their URTV names. And I'll forget the other ones. But his name is Negredo. He has black hair, and he's a variant. They all have their own abilities too. Then there's Albedo, which is another variant that was literally a conjoined twin with. They were conjoined by the back when they were born, or when they were created in the test tube, and then they were removed because of how powerful they are. Now they exist as their own. Albedo kind of takes the place as the main villain. He's almost lost his mind due to his connection with Udu. And since he's the brother of Junior, it makes him a very important character. So, just breaking down a little bit more about what... did you have a question?
No. Okay. I'm just mind blown.
Like, dude, this story is incredible. I'm not kidding.
You know where I'm even going with this? It's almost even reverse, biblical or Catholicism of this idea of the four archangels. Okay, so
are you thinking of those URTVs?
I'm thinking of this guy's not a variant, right? This guy's actually
who Junior? No, he is.
He is a variant.
He's the red dragon.
Okay,
he's like the reason he was kept alive was because he is like the most important URTV.
Okay. So
I guess
he's
I didn't
marked with like this number,
666.
right? So then
all of them are marked too. It's just like a tattoo they got when they were born.
But I'm just seeing some. There can be just like very like taken very literally, right? Sometimes the most literal kind of symbolism.
Yes.
Doesn't have to be necessarily what it is.
Sure.
But it's like, oh, okay. So there's 4 figures here, variants.
Right.
One is against the rest. That one is marked with 666.
No, not
Junior?
Not Junior. He's not against them. The organization kind of had like a crumble, and you find out it was Junior's kind of fault. But Negredo and Rubido, which Rubido is Junior, they stuck together and formed what was called the Kukai Foundation. That's why he's known as the Young Master. He literally has his special ability, Albedo's, which is the crazy one who went crazy through his contact with Udo. He is the one who... he has the ability to regenerate anything. There's actually a scene where he's like almost mentally torturing Momo by like he takes out a knife and like starts chopping his arms off, and he literally chops it. He like starts ripping his own head off. There's like blood on the floor. It's genuinely disturbing.
Fuck?
I remember playing it a little bit and I was a little cooked. Yeah. I remember being like, dude, because I was like getting freaked out by the idea of Momo seeing all this stuff. I was like, dude, what a crazy ass way. So Junior's ability through this is he can control the cells in his body to age, right? Albedo can control the cells in his body to heal. So he will still grow and get older, and Junior can keep himself at a younger age, even though he's much older than he looks.
I see.
Yes, so that was the point
it's
of
like
what...
a king complex a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Kind of like that vibe of like...
Because I was thinking like, I'm like, oh, he's like a variant.
He's like a kid.
He's maybe the younger variant.
No,
you know?
No. He is literally as old as like, as like any of the adults in it. Like Negredo, you see him, he's an adult. He's the leader of the Kukai Foundation. He goes by Guinan. Guinan is what they go by. And then he goes by Guinan Jr. And so he pretends he's like his son while they're actually brothers.
Wow.
I think I've said like most of the things I've wanted to say about the combat.
Okay. Yeah.
It just gets so much fun. Oh, I was going to explain support characters and the way that works. You also have ET and HP, obviously, and then you have your action points. ET is basically your mana meter. It's like if you want to use magic, ether.
So it like regenerates?
If you use specific moves, if you have the ability to unlock on the skill tree, you can unlock ways to be able to, especially in 2. 2 I'm loving because you have to stock up instead of guarding. You have to stock up to basically get action points, kinda. It's really different in 2. But there's different ways to gain your ET, and you can honestly just use like you'll get from like grinding battles, you'll get a lot of like basically it's like Pokemon medicine.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Ether is obviously a very important part. It's the Xenoblade universe, so Ether is a part of the universe in the lower domain. Those are things like healing. You can use things on enemies. You can like confuse them. You can make them fall asleep. And those are extremely important aspects, especially getting... and you can put buffs on your characters. So you can make them stronger. You can make them... what I was running towards the end was I would just give Cosmos just up her speed, up her attack, give her a bunch of boosts, because the boost you can use to gain your... more turns, basically. And so I literally was using everyone as this support tool that was buffing Cosmos, and she just went fucking crazy. Like, I was pulling off thousands of literally hits. I got to the final boss, by the way. I'm feeling, for what I'm explaining, I'm probably going to wrap up soon. How do you feel about that?
I feel great.
If you have any questions about lore, but I'm going to continue this, and I'm going to even talk a little bit about my experience with beating the game and kind of how that felt and what the end was kind of like and how I felt endgame. You know?
I feel like that's
if that's
great.
cool with you.
No, it's perfect.
So, I got to a couple points where I literally didn't know if I would be able to continue. One of the biggest ones was the ending I really enjoyed all of it, to be honest. But one thing is my complaint about the hardware, because they didn't put enough save points in between areas. If I died in the game, and this happened constantly, I knew how much data I would lose and and it wasn't an option. I had to win battles. I could save, through the emulator.
Yeah.
But if you die in a battle, you're going to have to go back to whatever save you had before.
Right.
And to be honest, when you realize you're going to lose a battle, what I would do is save the state so the emulator remembers it that way, because I can't use the save points that are built through the PS2.
Why?
Because it's too far in between. I've gone through corridor after corridor. I've fought battle after battle after battle. I've leveled up my characters, moved my ether around, done so much.
Oh yeah.
In between the time that those save points
are, this concept of artificial difficulty.
I
for the day,
hate that, to be honest with you, and it's one of my biggest complaints about that first game.
Right.
That is my biggest complaint. Actually, I really love everything about it. If they made it,
it's kind of a nice thing in modernized gaming. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying. It is dated in that sense, and it makes me sad to say, because I genuinely think it is an incredible.
Well, I'll be real. It's because the standard has been lowered. We're there. So
I agree.
I'm with you.
So
because what's the most valuable thing we got is our time and our effort.
So.
Agreed. If you don't want to spend it in a Dark Souls way, probably just keep it to Dark Souls. I'm good with that.
I'm good with not. Exactly. Exactly. Especially JRPGs where there's so much micromanaging and so much changing. It's just not fair to the player,
it's not respectful of time
of the player, which is extremely
100%, bro. It's archaic. It's I had a buddy actually tell me from Oregon that he quit playing Persona 5 because he didn't have autosaves. It didn't have autosaving.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
And he quit everything?
Yeah, it's kind of old school in that. And, they actually added autosaving into
Golden?
Royal.
Oh,
yeah. And,
not Golden.
Yeah. But, it's that idea. It's even Pokemon added autosaving, right?
Absolutely.
To be honest,
Xenoblade
we're
added
just
auto
there.
saving?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So Paper Mario has a retry option.
It's got a retry?
Used to not.
Yes. Huge, by the way.
Used to be save points.
If I could retry a battle, it really would fix every problem.
It would fix every problem you're having.
Xenosaga
you wouldn't even probably care about.
I wouldn't care. I really wouldn't. But because they made me care, they made me have to care, because if I'm being an idiot, right, and I die in a fight, I don't want to have to lose so much time that I put into it.
Well, I'm gonna be. And that's something I should factor in your review of the game.
Yes.
Without the save states. That's my opinion.
Sure. I'm with that, because also it did start to I just had to work around it, which is fine. I think that it doesn't affect the story, doesn't affect the characters, doesn't affect the world. It really doesn't affect the day-to-day. Because that's the only.
Just when
that's
it comes
genuinely
to criticism.
The only complaint I have. I mean, but the truth is, it's a video game, right. And if it's not fun, why bother? So if you have abysmal states of save, like something like Dark Souls, right, with the Souls meter, I'm not going to have that much fun. So I think I should bring it into this just to mention. Yeah. Because I think it's important.
Even mention you didn't have a problem with the difficulty.
No.
Because you had the access to save states.
That's
right.
You
know what I mean?
No, I agree. I agree. So
I'm with it, because I also I've played some games and I know I only stuck through it because I had a device like that, like save states.
Yep.
Totally been there, bro.
It's huge.
Yeah, but it's it's a part of why I feel the way I do about the game.
Sure.
So so it's easy. It's probably easy to see now. I'm guessing for you.
Yeah.
All these archaic parts of JRPGs.
Oh man,
back in the day.
It really is just crazy. It really is crazy, because they have changed incredibly.
Yes.
And it is a product of its time. Well, at the same time, I wanted to say it never really hit me too crazy hard. Sometimes I'd have to, resave to an old save state, just do a couple minutes. But when I got towards the end, it's 2 boss fights. This is the final boss. 2 boss fights into each other, and you have to go down this huge corridor elevator where you run the gauntlet of the strongest Gnosis characters. They literally appear right in front of you. Gauntlet. Right before the save state. And I lost I lost because I couldn't beat the boss. I had to save state in the boss. I kept doing everything I could. I knew I had to edit my characters. But my last save state that I did through the emulator was on the final boss. So I had to make a decision of going back to where I was and just redoing hours worth of content. That was the only time it really got tough, was on the final boss. But to be honest with you, that's when I really discovered the combat. That's when the game opened up,
unlocked.
and I wish I had done it sooner, because I was so sad that I was done with the game after that, because
So
I
you literally unlocked it on the final
boss, and it was an incredible experience. It was like persevering through the toughest shit and just coming back beefed up better than ever. Persevering, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And I creamed that boss. I was worried for days. I was thinking about how I was going to get my character stronger, and I was scared going into it, and I creamed him. I fucking annihilated him.
That
because
feels so good,
I
bro.
downloaded all this, everything I downloaded, and I just had it on lock. Cosmos was running through those guys.
Bro.
So it really was an incredible experience up until the very end of the entire thing. And those kind of things aren't even story related. That's what a game does. Is that there is, I could say, wow, this story is incredible. I was locked in the whole time. How's the combat? How's the gameplay?
Yes.
How's the day-to-day playing of the game? If it's fun and you're having experiences like I did, where at first I'm like, oh, I'm so frustrated, and then it's moving into this acceptance of love to this game that I didn't expect I was going to. A threshold is broken, and as a gamer, that's when you have struck gold. And that is something I've experienced with every Xenoblade game.
I'm going to even extend on that, because seriously, I don't think it could be understated that when I was leaving 3 weeks ago, last podcast, you're telling me that you just got this downloaded. You're going to kind of check it out. A week goes by. Yeah, you're just you're passively playing.
Very passively.
Right? I'm thinking this game gets really complicated really quick. And it probably, if he hasn't already experienced that, I'm like, how is he still playing passively? Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I couldn't do it. I'd have to go all in. So when I
do hear you,
and you also were just playing other things, and Power World just had the update, bro.
Power World was
so now come back, and you literally give me that text right before I come back. I'm like, no,
I beat the whole game.
Hell?
Went crazy with it.
If a game has the ability to pull you in like that, when all these other games are competing for your time, okay,
that's a fucking good game. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. There's no other point beyond that.
I have to respect your opinion on all this.
So I want to take everything in my consideration, and I want to give it a flash score. And I know we can't technically do that if not an official until you've played the game as well.
I'm gonna be real, unless there's a self veto. So that's the only way. So I'm gonna self veto. I'm not planning on playing this.
Yes.
It could be a fleeting dream.
Yes.
It's been on the list. I also don't own it, so maybe someday.
My hopes are, because of these true new connections to Xenoblade, it's getting a remaster pretty darn soon.
Dude, if it did, I would.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I think you will. That's why there's some parts I don't even want to go into the whole.
Well, you can, because I feel like I already, to be honest with you, I think I know how it ends. I think I know how it ends.
I do too.
And it's unfinished, but I think I know where it ended in that.
I also know where it ends up, and I think if you do, it will be that much more gratifying if you're playing Future Redeemed.
Future Redeemed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So with that said,
I want the flash score, and then I want to give you my
with that said,
theory if you want to hear it, but it could be a spoiler.
Sure. I'm okay with that. As long as it's not something you heard from, because I'm also pretty invested in the game series right now. You know what I mean?
I have a theory.
Oh, a theory. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The flash score, with everything I've said, save points included, in everything that I've experienced, I genuinely think this is one of the best JRPGs out there. I'm not even kidding.
That's insane.
I think it is one of the most intelligently cryptic, while also being such a metaphor for our existence in an incredible way that I genuinely have not seen with many other RPGs beyond even Xenoblade to some degrees. I have to give this a 5 out of 5. Like, genuinely, there is not much better than this.
It's true.
You want sci-fi JRPGs? This is the best one out there.
Caleb, you hear this, baby?
Oh my gosh, man.
That's a 5 out of 5.
That is a solid 5 out of 5. And honestly, even with all those issues I had with save points and all that, not a second of it could get me down enough to even feel negatively towards the game. To be honest, even with my look back, and even if I felt a little sad in the moment where I had to go back, I grinded and I went crazy on it because the game doesn't always have to ask that of you, but it presents that to you. And what it said was, do you want a gratifying experience? Do you want to fall deep into a game and get that much back? Here it is. And I did. And I loved it. And I'm doing the same thing with the second one, and I have no regrets.
Yeah.
It is seriously blowing my mind still. I'm on disc 2. I think I'm halfway through.
Halfway through?
Not this whole story. Halfway through disc 2.
Yeah.
I genuinely
episode 2.
Episode 2. So I'm more than halfway through episode 2, and I will be done soon.
Dope. Yeah. So we can do a follow up very shortly.
Hopefully soon.
For real. So you know what? I'm gonna save theories for another time.
Sure.
For some so xenotypical. We always gotta put it off because. It's too deep.
Yeah, it's deep.
My guy, I wanted to make a relation, though.
Okay. Yes.
Fuck. I thought of it. Should have just blurted it out.
Should have.
But I wanted to hear, like, all your thoughts. I'm really, I'm happy. It seems like you really got a thorough intake. Oh, my gosh. I remember exactly what it was. So,
yes.
Specifically in the combat. The way I want to wrap this is really like I got a relation story to how you experienced the final boss fight.
Oh yeah.
With the frustration, right? This game for me, the parallel was Tales of Vesperia.
Oh yeah, I think you've told me about this.
I have told you of a few Tales games, and so if you remember Vesperia,
yes,
to ring your bell is to tell you that this was the game where I fell in love with the characters. However, the plot, and specifically the last boss, was the reason I walked away with detrimental, to the game. The last boss was awful.
Detrimental?
Yes, dude.
Wow.
First of all, I don't want to go too deep. I want to just say the parallel, but the depth of it really is that I did not, for the first time ever in Tales, I did not fuck with the combat. Struggled. Coming from the previous game where it had this sweet... The combat was always simple. It was like an action RPG.
Sure.
Basic. Kind of felt turn-based because things have to charge. Attacks are instant.
Right.
It's kind of Xenoblade-esque. Just like, more of just building up your character, leveling up, keeping it simple.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You get arts. That's the coolest part. So the previous game, you have like these unsheathing arts. Yeah. So you have your weapon, you have your own arts. You can sheath it, and now you have your own different arts.
I'm loving it.
Now you get to this game, it's so complicated, it's not really fun. It's almost like it's too much.
Right.
Also, you're constantly upgrading, and it's like too much micromanaging, I felt, in the menus.
Oh, I see.
So Xenoblade, at least, I don't really know Xenosaga, but for me, Xenoblade nails, especially as you play each one.
Yeah.
It's not, it feels like you're in the menus, but you don't have to do it too much, really, I agree. Especially in Xenoblade 3, you can literally have it auto-manage for you.
3 does it really well, too.
Yes. You know what I mean.
Yeah, right? I do, and I feel like that's what Saga does well as well.
Okay. So,
not making you feel like, I gotta keep checking, almost like even excited. You know what I mean? You know that feeling?
No, I do. Like I'm excited to go in. I get an I leveled up. I'm excited to
Xenoblade.
Go in.
Yeah. Especially
I like that with Paper Mario, bro.
Xenoblade 2 with the Merc system and the Blade system and all that. It feels like the menu and the overworld are so tied.
It's a very intimate part of the game.
I love those games.
Yes, dude. 100%. So, had the opposite effect where I basically got to the point where I'm like, I don't even care. I'm just like trying to level up, whatever.
Right.
So you get to the last boss, which is like a 3-phase boss fight, I think.
Sure.
But isn't that kind of like what you're doing? So you saved,
it was,
and then you did like Gauntlet,
boom, boom,
right?
Boom. Yeah.
You get to the last boss. You're about to die. You have to. I don't know how many times you said you restarted, but
I only restarted once, and then I just went crazy on. I restarted a bunch of times through the emulator, like save
Yes,
point, but
like
not the physical
the safe state.
Yeah, but not the physical
But not the
save,
save point,
that
right?
is built through the PS2.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in this game, I had to restart. I almost dropped the game
wow.
because of how many times I restarted.
How long did it take you?
Dude, an hour.
Wow.
Probably.
Wow.
At least an hour. And I like turned off and came back to it another day because it reached in phase 3.
Yeah.
He does this like ender that's like unblockable. Like I'm like
Some Zanza shit.
What the fuck is okay, so for me to try to figure this out, I gotta go through that again.
Mm-hmm.
That's so it just really took me back to that place. And I never, you know what it didn't do for me? It didn't pull me enough. I didn't love it enough to do it. You did, where you're like, all right, I need to understand the combat. I know that was my problem.
Right.
I was just trying to muscle through it.
Right.
You know?
I completely understand what you're talking about because I also found myself doing the same thing in the second game because when I first booted up the second game, in the same way Takahashi does this every time, he just completely revamped the combat. And
he did.
I was coming straight off of 1, where I completely not only fell in love, but understood the combat like the back of my hand.
You were so into the combat of 1, I remember I was kind of trying to get back to 2, you know?
You're talking about Xenoblade?
Yes.
Yeah. I was talking about Xenosaga.
Oh, I thought you were saying Xenoblade.
No, Xenosaga, I was coming straight off of 1.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And then in 2, it's obviously it's all different.
Like from the top, right?
Yeah, it really is. It has a whole new system for the way that you damage enemies, the way you break. Breaking exists in the game now. It's the first use of break through all of the Xeno games.
Oh!
Yeah.
Right, I asked this question.
So break goes into...
Like,
break now goes into launch. It's called something else, but then launch...
it skips topple?
Slams. Yeah, no topple.
No topple. It has to be a Rhine thing,
Or
right?
maybe there is a topple. Depends on how the combo ends. Anyway, it's all new.
Could be.
I remember having that feeling of like, I literally did the same thing I did with the first game, where I pulled up a sheet, I had this thing next to me, and I was reading it. I was trying to find those combat guides. You remember I told you about this?
Yeah.
Trying to
find Game Facts.
Exactly. That's where I had to find it. I was reading all this stuff, just breaking down how it works.
Gosh.
And it was
I gotta
just so
show you
OG.
off cast when we're done.
Yeah.
Like, the Game Facts I used to like read, bro.
I love it.
When I was going through Chrono Trigger and I got stuck as a kid.
I still have them pulled up on my computer if you want to look.
Yeah, I want to see because it's all text based and it's like, dude, I used it as a guide. It works,
absolutely,
right?
and that's
how it used to be. It's crazy.
So I'm feeling good on this.
I think we should wrap here.
Yeah, I think
we gave
should
it a
wrap.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 for sure.
I don't really have any more questions. I got theories, but I think we could talk about theories night and day.
Sure.
So, Joshi, let's segue into part 3 of the podcast, which is the wrap, the epilogue. The wrap. So let's wrap, my friend. I didn't really prepare because I was feeling sick, to be honest with you. The class trial. So I thought it would just go through. I found a trivia right here. It's called Xenosaga Episode I Trivia Quiz. Are you ready? Let's go through it together.
Fuck yeah.
So it just has it in multiple choice. So this is 100% credit to funtrivia.com.
Fun trivia.
Okay?
Thanks, guys.
Excuse me.
Okay.
This might be too easy. I have no idea.
We'll see.
Number 1 is, what race breed is Momo?
What race breed? She's a 100 series Realian prototype.
It says Realian is an option.
Okay.
And, it doesn't tell me right away. Let's keep going.
Wait. Did you pick Realian?
Yeah.
What were the options?
Cyborg, human, and android.
She is a Realian.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Number 2, what is Shion's weapon called?
Ooh! Is there something that says Buster?
There is.
Don't click it yet.
I'll give you all the options.
Okay, give me the options.
We got MWS, Blaster, DSSS, and Jackknife.
It's not Jackknife. Read the first 3 again.
MWS,
No,
Blaster,
it's
and DSSS.
Try Blaster. I think it's Blaster.
You said Blaster,
I said
right?
I said Buster.
Buster.
I think that's why I was remembering.
Number 3, who is the navigator of the Elsa?
Oh, it's what are the names? Just
Tony, Hammer,
It's
Matthews,
wait, no.
Chaos.
The navigator. It might be Chaos.
It's Chaos?
It might be Chaos.
Okay.
I think because they all have a rule. Captain Matthews is not the navigator. He's the captain. The driver is Tony, and I'm pretty sure it's Hammer is the one who is the. They're so hilarious, by the way. Yeah, I think it's Hammer. I think it's Hammer.
I think you should go with your gut.
I'm going with my gut.
Number 4.
It's
what
either
is
Hammer or
Ziggy's
Chaos.
real name?
His real human name?
Yeah, I have.
Jan Sawyer.
Jan
Jan, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it said Steve Kulik,
Nope.
Zach Fortenberg,
Nope.
and Roshi
Those are all
Hamachu.
fake names. Those aren't even in the game.
Number 5. What is Commander Sharenkov's first name?
Sharenkov?
Yeah.
What are the options?
Commander Sharenkov.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Charlie, William, Andrew, Lucas.
Damn, I really don't remember. What's the first one?
Charlie, William, Andrew, and Lucas.
I really don't know. Try William.
Yeah, I can give you one phone a friend. There's 10 questions here. So anytime you want to phone a friend, I'll give you 50-50 off.
You know what? I'm gonna do phone a friend for that one.
On this
I
one?
feel this is the least one I'm confident.
Okay, what'd you pick?
What do you mean?
You said...
I said just William
guess?
because I don't remember.
Okay, you would have gotten it wrong. So we're going to cross off William and Charlie. So you
William,
got
Charlie?
Andrew and Lucas left. For Commander Sharenkov.
Wow, I really don't know. Maybe Andrew.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Andrew. Yeah.
Number 6. What weapon does Junior use?
Cool. He uses dual pistols, but do they have a special name?
We got sword, magic, staff, and gun.
Gun.
Gotta be gun.
Let's go.
He's got a gun!
He's got a gun!
Number 7.
He has a gun.
Who is the sergeant aboard the Woglinde? Woglinde?
The huh?
I don't know.
Do you mind if I see it?
It says, who is the sergeant aboard the Woglinde that gives you the segment file? Anytime.
Wait. What are the names? What are the names?
I got you.
I might have this.
We got Ornick, Swine, Swain, and Piggy.
It's.
Here, come over here and take it with me.
They're trying to fuck up a dyslexic kid. It is. Hold up. Wait. It's Swain.
Swain.
That's the name of him.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Got it?
That's right, buddy.
He's got it, baby. Okay.
Got it.
Number 8. What condition is the first Lieutenant Virgil afflicted with? Crazy's name's Virgil.
Virgil. What are the options?
That's from Devil May Cry, bro.
Is it?
Yeah, that's isn't that Dante's brother or a rival or something?
Oh, I
think it's his brother. Cancer, STD, diabetes, DME addiction.
DME addiction.
What's DME?
It's a type of drug, basically, in the world.
So
yeah, but he like literally injects it into his like neck and stuff, and he starts coughing if he doesn't have it. He's literally like addicted.
It's literally cyberpunk.
It's pretty crazy. I'm telling you, this world is so deep. What else we got?
Number 9. What are the big green monsters found inside the giant Gnosis?
The big green monsters? What are the options?
Golems, manticores,
Big green.
ogres, and goblins.
Try ogres.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's ogres.
And the last one, Cosmos, is a what? Cosmos.
What are the options?
Android, Realian, Cyborg, Gnosis.
She's a Realian.
All right, brother. Let's look. Okay, so number 1.
What do we get?
Is Momo is indeed a Realian. So
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect.
Number 2, what is Shion's weapon? It's an MWS. Okay, so it says Shion is the chief engineer of the Cosmos Project,
That's
General
right.
Operation Research Center. That's insane. Vector Industries' first R&D division. That's her fucking title?
Yeah,
Are you
that's
kidding
her.
me? And
She's
she uses
crazy.
a weapon called the Multiple Weapons System. Maybe because can she change it?
Yeah, she has an attack named Blaster, I think.
Because Alan
yeah.
Ridgely is secretly in love with her.
That's Alan.
Love it.
It's so funny.
Okay. Number 3. Who is the navigator of the Elsa? It was Hammer. Hammer once hacked into the database. And has been on the run, which is why he joined up with Matthews.
Yeah, he's with Matthews. They're a bunch of like on the run guys.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They're great.
Well, Ziggy's real name was Jan Sawyer, like
baby.
you said. Commander Sharenkrov's first name was Andrew.
Perfect.
You fucking got
That's
it.
the one that I needed.
You needed it, bro.
Okay.
What weapon does Junior use? Gun. Indeed.
Easy.
It was Swain
was.
as a sergeant aboard the what? The Woglinde?
It's the one you start off in that blows up. The Woglinde, maybe.
The Woglinde.
It could have been Voglinde if they're doing
Voglinde. Oh,
they're doing
Vogeland?
Yeah, if they're doing
Vogeland.
Yeah.
Oh, could be. All right.
Some German
Lieutenant Virgil was inflicted with the DME addiction.
He did.
It was Ogre.
Let's
for
go.
The Gnosis.
I'm not kidding. I grinded those ogres, bro. Because if you use the long distance shot, you can literally just like I grinded the fuck out of them. I'm so glad I got
It says the Manticores are little centipede-like things inside in the Woogland. Okay, so Cosmos is an android, a robot made entirely of mechanical parts, which is very rare in their time. Cyborgs are part human, part robot.
like
Realians are almost like humans, while Gnosis are totally alien.
Yes. So yeah, I get that. I should have known.
Yeah, wow.
I thought she was a Realian, to be honest.
Well, you know, that's good for us to know.
That's great to know.
Lore, right?
Is that the only one I missed?
That's it, right? Oh no, you said blaster.
That's right. That's
weapon.
right. So I missed 2 out of 10.
Technically, a blaster is a part of her weapon, no?
So
I think you only missed like 1.5. And I don't think it's about the score anyway. I think we've just taken all the lore.
I low-key cooked on that.
Yeah, you low-key cooked, bro. I'm proud. That was great. I felt like that was some pretty good trivia.
That was really fun.
Thank you, funtrivia.com.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Joshi, I'll be honest. I completely forgot a proverb spotlight.
Oh, you forgot to get one?
Yeah.
Can I get one really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I said one, I think in pregame, but Meliodas said,
that's a great one.
Meliodas is cemented as probably my favorite character of all time.
Yeah.
As of right now. For who he is, motives, power, everything. And one of the last quotes he says, I think in the last episode, is, it doesn't matter, and it's not about what others think about you. It's how you think about others.
I love that quote.
Dude.
Yes.
That is absolute truth.
Love it so much.
Absolute truth, man. And we
this is such a good
barbarian.
Okay. Yeah, we absolutely have to. All right. This one's a really good quote. It's kind of crazy.
Okay.
But I want you to hear it.
I'm in it.
It's just kind of crazy to think about. Don't be so surprised. This is the power of will, a fundamental power that exists within everyone. What you are witnessing is simply your perception of it. And you know what? Perception and pain are but one and the same. So go ahead, feel my pain yourself. Come on, that's crazy.
Who
dude.
says that?
That was Albedo.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Perception and pain?
Perception and pain are one of the same, so go ahead, feel my pain yourself. Oh, that's so good.
That's so hard.
I'm telling you, this shit
That's
is
so
filled with some great ass quotes.
That's great. Joshi, let's wrap right there, baby.
Love
guys,
it, baby.
thanks so much
Love
for
it.
joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, back from the
After
break.
3 weeks.
After 3 weeks, man. Yeah, we're back. We will officially be back to our normal format of dropping these episodes. This will drop this upcoming Saturday. I was even contemplating dropping on Sunday, but I do want to keep Sunday set apart from really, I only want to work it if I absolutely have to in season, and then otherwise set apart like Monday. But I'm gonna keep it I can get it done. Saturday is the day. Friday is the day for pregame. Okay, so we're gonna keep that going.
I like it.
So if you want to hear more on Xenoblade and Metal Gear Solid, actually, in DLC in the premium series, guys, head on over to the Patreon page. But otherwise, we'll keep it real here on Spotify. By the way, I want to make one announcement. Just plug it right real quick. You remember last episode before I took the vacay? I said, I was gonna do party chat, but I couldn't access the Q&A. Right? It was doing an update.
Did it?
Kind of yes, kind of no. They have completely replaced the Q&A feature on Spotify.
With what?
They have upgraded it.
Oh.
It is now a free to submit any comment section.
Oh, let's go. That's actually kind of
It is a comment section now.
So wow.
Yeah, built into Spotify. So it's awesome. Basically, the more I might even be able to reply on the same
that would be cool.
Right?
I love it.
So, guys, you can now submit your own inputs
your
on
own
every
questions.
episode into Spotify.
I love it. So go do that.
Go.
Yeah.
Please don't do that right now.
You got any questions about anything?
Yeah. You got any questions
you want to
specifically
hear us?
for Joshi?
Yeah.
I'll probably reach out to Caleb after this too, try to get like some more party chat input about Xenosaga, because I know you guys would talk for years about all this.
Oh my god, I can't wait to, because
me too. And you know what I can't wait for, Joshi?
What can't you wait for?
A fucking sandwich. I'm gonna go get one right now.
Let's go,
That's
man.
a wrap. We'll see you all later.
Goodbye.
You'll have a good weekend.
Have an amazing weekend,
I
guys.
love you.
What? Do you actually love them?
I love all of them.
Oh.
Every last
one.